All right, hello and welcome to the Rebellious Noise Pro Wrestling channel. And today I'm Scott. Well, I'm always Scott. This is Rob over here, and we are traveling back to the year 2013 to discuss and watch along Royal Rumble 2013. Now, I wouldn't say 2013 is the most glorious year, Rob, in the WWE. We kind of did a little bit of a watch along recently for Survivor Series 2012. So it's a good idea to kind of pick up from there, even though it wasn't the greatest show. It'd be interesting to see. Looking back, really, what the WWE did just a few months later with their next big pay-per-view, as they would have been known at the time. So, with that in mind, let's strap ourselves in and get ready to watch the Royal Rumble.
Welcome to the Rebellious Noise Pro Wrestling channel. On this channel, we bring you some great content from inside and outside of the squared circle. We will go through and offer some in-depth analysis of the biggest events of the year, as well as bringing you exclusive interviews with some of the industry's biggest names. There will also be live show reviews, in-depth features, and podcasts. So make sure you give that subscribe button a slam so you don't miss any of the action.
All right, so that's exactly it, guys. Do not miss any of the action, whether it be up-to-date wrestling news and content here at Rebellious Noise, or whether it be stuff from the past like this that me and Rob have been doing in the past few months, at least, going back and looking at some of the kind of, I would say, classic moments and pay-per-views. Some of them have been up there that we've done. Some of them have been kind of misses, but still been fun to watch back and kind of have a laugh about either way. So what we're going to be doing here is we're going to be going through Royal Rumble 2013. Again, if you are watching live or on demand, we do appreciate you joining us. And we'll kind of every now and then put a clock up so that you know exactly where we are on the stream. We're both watching on the WWE Network. And we had an issue with this before because strangely, even though we're in the same country, we had different versions. So we probably should have checked this before we went live, Rob. We might have 2 hours, 46 minutes and 37 seconds or 38 seconds, maybe. Because I'm a second.
Yeah.
Whew. Right. So if you're on that time frame with us, great. We'll give you a countdown. We'll tell you when to press start. But at first, we're going to kind of talk about our memories from it. Just kind of, it is, again, 10 years ago now in kind of real life. If you're watching live or in this moment of January 2023, you'll know, of course, we're coming up to the Royal Rumble of 2023. But again, we're going to be talking about the kind of a historic pay-per-view here. Again, it might not be up there as one of the best Royal Rumbles, but it does have some interesting moments. And as we said in the description of this video as well, also has some kind of pivotal moments, I think, as far as what the future of the main event scene is going to be. So really interesting one to kind of talk about either way. But Rob, what do you remember from this PLE, I guess, first time around?
So I remember not much, to be honest, mate. I remember The Rock versus CM Punk.
Yeah,
I remember the build-up for that.
Yeah, the build-up was very good, by the way.
Yeah, I remember that. And I remember if the Shield interferes, Punk would be stripped. I remember that stipulation being put in place.
Yeah, I didn't remember that at all until I read up about what the card was.
Right. And I remember what happens at the end of that match and the way it what's the word? Unravels itself and basically.
I don't remember that. I remember, I think, a few moments from it.
Right.
But yeah, I've got to say, I don't remember that much about it. I remember liking the match. I remember thinking like it was the inevitable, the winner. But other than that, I think I was a little disappointed by some of the things that happened in this PLE. And we'll get to that, I think, within the Royal Rumble match itself. But yeah, looking back on it, I think it's a real interesting, again, pivotal time in the WWE. So it'd be interesting to kind of talk about it. Anyway, my memories of it, again, touching it like that. But also, I remember watching this with Tom, of course, my co-host on Talking Beans, and Justin, of course, been on a few of the Rebellious Noise channels as well. We were watching it, and I remember we got a massive feast of like sweets and stuff like that. It was good, man. It was good fun. Like
nothing changes.
What's that?
Nothing changed then.
Nothing
You're
changed.
Still on a feast.
Yeah, still have a feast. But yeah, it's going to be fun looking back on the show, regardless. But yeah, I'm trying to remember like big surprises and stuff like that, and they're not quite coming to me just yet.
So the only thing I can think of is, was it Nash that appeared in this one? But was it?
No,
did he come back as Diesel?
I think that's 2011.
That's all I can think of in my head. I can't remember anyone.
Which was great, but yeah, 2013. I think this might be the one where Jericho starts as 1 or 2 against Dolph, and he's basically it's a return. I think that might be this one.
I really
They all
can't
kind of
remember.
merged together in this period. So, yeah. So again, we'll get started in just a few moments, guys. Again, if you're watching with us live or on demand, this is a chance to get your network, your DVD, your Blu-ray, or your Peacock subscription up and ready. And again, we'll watch this together as well. But yeah, not a lot that I remember about. I think the biggest thing from this show, and it's in the poster, is the fact that The Rock was wrestling again. But The Rock had wrestled the year before, right, at Survivor Series with Cena against Miz and
so it
Hardy.
was with it was with Cena with Cena against the Miz and R-Truth.
And we'd already seen the first Rock Cena match. This of course is just The Rock's first attempt at getting the world title since he'd come back. So interesting for that. And again, spoiler alert, guys, but there was a slight inevitability about it all. But this is Punk's big reign. This is in the middle, and of course, saying reign and reigns. Of course, we're on a big reign at the moment as we've recorded this. But yeah, this was a huge moment for Punk, and kind of feeling bad for him in some ways, in the way things had to go down. But of course, that leads us on to WrestleMania. Maybe we'll touch on that WrestleMania as well, because that's coming up to 10 years, and actually in attendance for that one. So that'd be fun to kind of. I don't think I've ever watched that back on the network or anything like that. So I don't even know what the commentary was like, or I think I've watched clips of certain parts of that show. But anyway, this isn't about WrestleMania. It's about the start of the road to WrestleMania. Rob, are you ready? Are you all set up?
Yeah. Did you want me to give you a rundown of the card?
Yeah, let's have a little rundown of the card.
All right. So in no particular order, obviously we've got CM Punk with Paul Heyman versus The Rock, which is a singles match for the WWE Championship. Stipulation: if the Shield interferes, CM Punk will be stripped of the title.
Right.
Obviously, we've got the 30-man Royal Rumble for a World Championship match at WrestleMania 29. I'll be honest, I don't even remember who won that. So that'll be a nice surprise. Team Hell No, which consists of Daniel Bryan and Kane as tag team champions.
Cool. Yeah, be good to see them back again.
Teaming against Team Rhodes Scholars, which is Cody Rhodes and Damien Sandow.
Oh, lovely.
Tag team match for the WWE Tag Team Championships. And Alberto Del Rio with Ricardo Rodriguez as the World Heavyweight Championship versus The Big Show in a last man standing match. Which is weird to think that was even a match.
Last man standing match as well. It doesn't it's fun. We've talked about this on this podcast before. They can feel a bit sluggish, and I can see that being the case here. But yeah, I don't have much memories of that match at all. But either way, going to be an interesting one to look back on, I'm sure. So yeah, is that the full card? Doesn't seem that long.
No, man, it's four matches. However,
4 and the Rumble. It's not 4 in total, is it?
It's 4 in total. Three matches and a Rumble.
What? I know the Rumble's long, but God.
The Rumble normally goes over an hour, doesn't it?
Yeah, and this pay-per-view is what we said, 2.5, just over 2. I think 2:37. I think it was.
Yeah, I think that's about right. I mean, let's say the Rumble is on average an hour, right?
But still, that's
and then you've got Hell No versus Rhodes Scholars. Let's say they get 15 minutes. Punk and The Rock, that's a long match, and the build up on that. And you got Last Man Standing. That's at least 25 minutes. So I think that works out. No, does it not?
No, I think it does. Yeah, but I'm just surprised it is such a short PLE. But yeah, either way,
do you know what it feels like? Do you remember when we had Raw and SmackDown having separate PLEs or pay-per-views at the time, and then SmackDown would have like 4 matches, and that was when they done the brand split again from 2016. That's what it feels like.
Yeah,
it feels like a SmackDown.
What's going on here? Is there much of a brand split? Is this in the Raw Super Show era, which I hated? By the way,
no, that was 2011 to 2012, wasn't it?
So this is just after that, then. And we've got 2 titles, as you mentioned. Punk is the WWE, and then we've got Del Rio, just say as the world champ at the time. That's an interesting one, of course. Was it the year before this or 2 years before this that Del Rio won it? The 40-man one. I think that might have been the one that was 2 years before, when you had all the legends come back and stuff like that.
I can't. Was that the one when all 3 members of the commentary team, JBL, JR, and Michael Cole, were in it?
Oh gosh, yeah. I mean, talk about fill up the numbers. Then. Yeah, bloody hell. Yeah, you're right.
I I hope it was that one because I don't want to see that again right now.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's on this one, mate. I think we're safe
No,
as
it's
far
alright
as
then.
that goes. All right, let's start getting this ready then. Before we do, hold on, let me just see if I can get this. I was mentioning just then, memories of watching it again in 2013. That's about right. Let me see if I can get this up actually, and I'll show you exactly what it was like with those sweets if I can.
So we've
Let's have
seen
a
a
look.
2013 Scotty with what was your hair like then? Did you
It
was
was
it
black
swooping brown?
and what's that?
Was it like swooping brown? Did you have the
It
beaver
must have
haircut,
been,
the
yeah, but it's
emo-y?
black. But I don't know if it's with a second color here. Hold on, let's have a quick look. There we go. Royal Rumble 2013. There's me, Justin, looking like a tube seat,
Have you got no
and
beard?
no, but a little bit of a what do you call it? A little bit of a like
Garage?
on the chin. And Tom, who still can't grow a beard, but there we go.
Hey, he can
What a
grow.
night!
Well, he can grow a bit of a beard.
Well, can he?
I love
I
you,
would
Tom.
say
It's
if he's
fine.
not watching, but he knows I'd say that to him, to his face. But yeah, all right, let's get going then. Here we are ready, set to go. Oh, it's 2 hours 46. That was it, and 37
Yeah.
seconds. So we give ourselves a little bit of a countdown. Let me get this. There we go. That's going to be our timer as well, guys. We'll bring this up every now and then to make sure we're all in sync. But with that in mind, I count down from 5, yeah?
Sure.
All right. So everybody get your things ready. And in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. All right. Okay, so we're starting out with a promo package, of course. They're making it seem like the crowd chant really slowly, which is definitely not the case.
They're always ahead, aren't they?
Yeah, a little bit ahead, yeah. Oh wow, this song as well, very of its time.
Do you know what's always fun to play? When you go back and watch an old show, how many are still in WWE?
Yeah, well, especially with the Rumble, like, yeah, sorry,
Yeah.
I know that's exactly what you're saying. I don't know why I'm like, yeah, especially. Well, I guess I'm
But yeah, I know
agreeing
what
with
you
that.
mean.
Especially with the Rumble match, yeah, you just notice how many kind of changes have happened within the roster. And again, 10 years feels like not a long time ago. Sometimes it depends, and then sometimes it feels like it's a lifetime away. So depending on this, it's gonna feel. It doesn't feel that long in life to me, but I think watching this is gonna remind me just how different things are. Here we go. So we're seeing a promo package, of course, about the show overall, which of course is heavily talking about the Rumble, but also talking about CM Punk's reign, as we talked about earlier on.
And don't forget, in that reign that he had, he was face, then went heel, then become face again.
Right.
Or
Yeah.
face heel, then kind of become a twinger.
Well, he's a heel here, though, right? I mean,
I don't know.
yeah,
I'll be honest, I can't remember.
I think fans were kind of like against. I mean, people love seeing The Rock back, but they were kind of like thinking it's a bit annoying what's happening to Punk because of this. Because it was the typical thing that he was saying at the time that people come in, they get the Mania spot. Like he should have had the Mania spot. I mean, don't get me wrong, he goes on to face The Undertaker, which is fantastic. Great match, great feud, great honor. Should be, but I think it felt second best to him at the time because of losing out. But again, that's a bit of a spoiler for what happens in this main event.
Wait, is Punk with
Heyman?
Is he with Heyman at this point?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I was gonna say, man. I was thinking he's not with Heyman. But I was like, I'm sure that comes later because Heyman's with Punk from the Undertaker stuff, and I remember that was a beautiful build up.
Yeah. This is it. It starts going in straight after this because Punk's no longer champ, So, anyway, cheers, Rob. Let's get on with something.
I haven't got a drink. That's right.
So I was going to say some things haven't changed. We've got all the beers we've got ready there as well. Of course, only me and Justin, because as you can see there, Tom is SXC, and I don't mean sexy. Well, I mean straight edge. The 26th, so this is the 36th, was it, in this year? But I guess that's how maths works. But cool stage, got to say. Wow, I like that. I mean, it's 3 different screens. I wasn't a massive fan of the LED, the HD era stage. It seems like it's a little bit after that, and they used to kind of tweak it a little bit, didn't they? But they're still using those bottom parts. But I think it works really well here.
Oh, someone done 15 pay-per-views in a row according to that sign.
Oh, didn't see that. All right. I mean, people are excited for The Rock. Don't get me wrong. I was very excited for The Rock back. At this point, is kind of well in the middle of his return. But still very exciting, as I'm sure it will be if he comes back this year as well. By the time if you watch this in a few months or a few years' time, you'll know exactly what happens there. But it's a good time, I think, to go back and watch something that involves The Rock at a Royal Rumble. But anyway, we'll talk more about The Rock later on, I'm sure. First off, we're starting with a last man standing match. I think it's a risky start because they can be quite sluggish, but at the same time, it's a possible weapons match, which is always a good way to kind of get people interested as well. So,
where else would you put it on this card, though?
Well, I guess, like you said, it's not
the marquee match
going on, is there? So,
no, exactly. I mean, it's kind of get it out of the way, isn't it? Because it does slow. we've spoke on this in detail so many times about last man standing matches, and I feel sometimes they just drag. So I think get it out of the way, and then the rest of the show can kind of ride up. I hope. I mean, that's my thing. This is the beginning of the roller coaster, and then we're gonna go up.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, oh, look at this. There's a lot of weapons out there. So for the hype up towards this. So I'm guessing we're dealing with a baby face Big Show here. I might be wrong. Was Del Rio a baby face?
Bro, I don't know. Both of them are face turned and heroic turned so many
it's hard
times.
for him to push it. So Del Rio must be the baby face. Oh, he'd only won the title 3 weeks earlier. Wow. Yeah, he's definitely a babyface. He's in the crowd.
Yeah.
That changes. Of course, in a few months' time, he faces. Well, I remember who he faces, but I don't know if I should say because it's not a spoiler actually. I think it's kind of clear. People remember 10 years ago. But do you want me to not mention it?
It's up to you, man.
It's up to you if you want to have it spoiled. If you remember it or not. But basically, I know this title gets lost by Dolph Ziggler cashing in. So,
which is,
Did you notice what I did there, Rob? I've got 2 steins that look the same way, and I thought I picked up the one with beer, and I drank the water. Went, that's a very watered down beer. So it's important to drink water, guys, as well. But I was just looking for a different taste there. Here we go. Who's behind him? Oh, Bret the Hitman Hart. Bret looks good there. Oh, okay. So Bret says Del Rio reminds him of a Mexican Bret Hart. Judging by the words Bret has for his colleagues, sometimes I don't know if he'd be saying that these days.
I don't want to get controversial on the channel.
I loved Ricardo Rodriguez, by the way.
Yeah.
They're playing good baby faces, these two, I've got to say. Well, here we go. Ricardo's been given Bret Hart sunglasses. Cool. That's a cool little moment. I have no memory of it.
No, me either.
Okay, and now, that's so weird. We talk about a sluggish start. They've gone to a back to stage segment, and now music and introduction by the commentators.
Big Show's just out there.
He's got to be sitting down.
Do you know what we won't get? We won't get a Kevin Owens moment when he's resting his head in a turnbuckle yet. We don't get that.
Yeah. Okay.
Why didn't they do all this before? Then bring out Big Show.
Yeah,
Then bring out.
Strange. I don't know, killing time or something. Okay. All right. Now we're gonna get Lillian. This is weird because Lillian had been gone and come back at this point, hadn't she?
I think so.
Yeah, she was. I can't remember what the bucket's all about. Is that literally just because of his towel?
No idea.
There we go. Cool little gimmick this. I used to really like his ring announcing. Strange thing though, because obviously it's a good song as well. I did like some of Del Rio's presentation. Is he coming out in the car still? Nah.
No.
Yeah, strange.
Do you know what? It's a shame they didn't do a you know when they done like the weird Mexicals and all that sort of stuff, and like Latino World Order and all that sort.
Yeah.
We had that time, right? If at one point, I may be wrong, but I'm sure we had Del Rio, Sin Cara, and Mysterio in the company all at once. Imagine just a Mexican faction just really dominating. They didn't have to. They could have had one champion and the rest of them go forward, but they just never pulled the trigger on that stuff. It's so weird.
Maybe I guess they were too busy trying to give everyone their own individual identity. You know, like yeah. Oh yeah, the C chant instead of yes. Flipping heck, I forgot all about that. Wow.
So when we go to another show, we do need a rebellious noise sign.
Yeah, that's a great one. I just saw a sign there for Grumpy Cat saying Grumpy Cat. His job as Grumpy Cat was a thing back then. I actually met Grumpy Cat probably about 3 years after this pay-per-view.
No, really?
Yeah, I do have a picture of me and Grumpy Cat. I might try and find it and add it to this stream. Let's see if I can find it.
That's a beautiful title, though.
It's nice. I just think it looks weird there.
Oh!
Just started heavy with Big Show in control here. Like I said, every now and then, guys, we'll bring up the timer so you can join us on stream. We'll try and do it every 10 minutes at least. Of course, we don't have it up here the whole time, but we can bring it up every 10 minutes just in case anyone watching live or on demand loses sync or joins us late live as well. So there we go. That's where we are on the show at the moment. So whether you're joining us with Peacock on the network or a Blu-ray, this is your chance to align yourself back up with where we are on the stream. But at the moment, we're watching Del Rio versus The Big Show. Started with Big Show in control, as I just mentioned.
Oh man, them chops.
You ready for me and Grumpy Cat?
Yeah, go on.
Me, Laura, and Grumpy Cat. To be fair, I think he was having a nap at the time, but here he is. Set the banner down. There we go. So yeah, I told you about Grumpy Cat. Yeah. It was strange. Spent quite a bit of time with his handlers and stuff like that as well. It was very interesting to see how a celebrity animal is treated. But there we go. That's not about this. But yeah, hey, this is what you come here for, guys. It's not just pro wrestling content. And even when it is, it goes a little bit rogue. Nice little way to get back a little bit of control there from Del Rio, knocking down Big Show with a drop kick to the knee, kick to the back of the head there as well. But yeah, going back to the World Heavyweight title, Rob, I always liked the design, but I just felt like it being a worse version than what it's supposed to be. It was smaller, which I didn't like. But then at the same time, I didn't quite like when the WCW version had a flat plate as well sometimes. So
yeah.
But then again, that looked weirdly, because it was so weird, it looked cool sometimes. I don't know. But yeah, I know you're interested in doing some belt design chat in the future, so we'll probably hold back on a bit of that for that. But
yeah,
guys, let us know in the comments whether live or on demand or at RN Pro Wrestling on Twitter, of course. Oh, nice little seat as Michael Cole calls it there. A plaster falling off the arm of Big Show. Hopefully that doesn't cause him too many issues. But yeah, and yeah, any ideas, guys, drop them our way, and we'll see if we can kind of make them fit around the schedule. But of course, we cover a lot of things on the channel. We interview WWE superstars. We cover not just WWE. Recently, we covered New Japan, AEW, and things like that as well. And of course, we're covering up-to-date news and events as well. So stick with us at the Rebellious Noise Pro Wrestling channel. But every now and then, we like to throw it back and do some kind of retrospective reviews and watch-alongs as well. So that's why you've joined us here now, thankfully, on the 2013 Royal Rumble watch-along. What did Del Rio say there? He used to say something. I couldn't hear what it was there, but this doesn't. Again, this is from a Last Man Standing. It feels like already like we're nowhere near getting a 8. You know, like I was gonna say 5, but I think he's gonna get to 5 already.
That's the ref. Is that Scott Armstrong?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Okay, I said nowhere near an 8. He got to a 7.
That bucket's got to come into play in this match, surely.
Yeah. Slap on the chest there from the Big Show.
How many of them chops do you reckon you could take from the Big Show?
Oh, so I did a bit of training when I was younger, but I've taken a few chops in general, and I don't know how many there were, but it felt like it was a lot. Off the Big Show,
1.
I'd be terrified to get 1, but
yeah.
1, yeah. But you can imagine, like a hit like that could possibly stop your heart. You know, like if you're not in
it's scary, isn't it?
Position, or it hits you in an awkward place or something like that, or if your heart's kind of in a weird rhythm, it must be risky.
I wonder if this is the point. Do you remember when Big Show he either got drop kicked or something happened when he was holding steps, and then he slits his head open? Is it this match?
Maybe. I feel like that might have been the TLC S match. Remember the table, ladders, the chairs, and stairs match?
Yeah.
Just
because I really can't remember.
It might not be.
But because I remember it happening, but I can't remember what PLE it was.
Yeah, I can't quite remember. I can picture it, but I don't quite remember it happening. We've got an Star David Colt shirt there in the crowd as well. Colt Cabana, of course, at this time.
Oh yeah, this was just after the fight, Colt Cabana, isn't it?
Yeah. Obviously, that's
which I have a signed
friendship that has kind of changed the course of pro wrestling in a few ways. Don't get me wrong, not just with AEW stuff, but also the mention, of course, with the chokeslam there from the Big Show quite early on. The mention in the pipe bomb, the podcast that kind of was groundbreaking for many reasons, and then turned sour with a lawsuit. So yeah, quite interesting looking back on, and also Colt's contribution to wrestling overall. You know, inspired the Elite, for example. So, excuse me, pardon me, even, but
I'm a big fan of Colt. Comedy wrestling. The thing is, he's a comedy wrestler, but he can do much. His podcast is fantastic.
I used to love it. I haven't listened to it in years, and I'm still going, if I'm honest.
No.
But
what was it? Art of Wrestling.
Art of Wrestling, yeah. He did a wicked video called the Wrestling Road Diaries as well, which was really good.
He done 2 of those, didn't it? Or 3 of those.
Did, yeah, 2 or 3. But I think I only ever saw the first one
with Bryan Danielson.
Yeah, was Cesaro in one of them as well?
Maybe the second. I know they've done a 3rd one, and it was more current with like was it Grado, the Scottish wrestler?
I think he was. Yeah, I think he might have been on one of them.
I think the second. I don't know. I can't remember. It would be nice to go back and watch them.
Yeah,
I
that'd be
don't know
cool.
if people would enjoy it on a stream, but
you know what
just
we
in
should do
general.
on a stream is Beyond the Map.
Oh, that would be good.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I've got that on VHS somewhere.
I think I have,
Yeah, we won't put the VHS one on for the stream. I think we'll find it online, but okay, so Del Rio's up at 7 again. Nearly knocked over production crew there.
Wait, is that a thing? What was that in October?
What was what in October?
Oh,
my audio went there. Sorry.
Oh, it knocks over like a stool or something, is it?
I didn't see that. I hope I haven't messed up my stream. Del Rio's just kicked him in the head.
Yeah.
Okay.
But before that, he got kicked in the knackers.
Yeah, so yeah, where's the that little thing on the floor there? Yeah, there we go. We're getting up to the 20-minute mark on the PLE, pay-per-view, even as they used to call them. So this is where we are, guys. Again, if you're watching live or on demand, that's how you can sync up your stream with ours. It's confusing seeing a count on the screen and the count going on here. You were 8 on the 9. Come on, Big Show's not going down after that, is he? There we go. He's up. And Big Show's fighting back. Okay, so it looks like we're going to get some sort of action up here on the stage. I'm saying stage, yeah, it's all flat. There's no. Oh, it's awkward, wasn't it? There is head into the floor and these legs into this thing. See, this is the thing. You don't really want to destroy the display this early on, do you? Because then you got all the. If there's any pay-per-view that highlights entrances, oh look, he's fine with knocking it down though. It's the Royal Rumble, isn't it? There we go. We've just passed the 20-minute mark, guys. So we'll bring that back up in a bit again if anyone does lose sync or anything like that. Oh, Big Show kicks into the display.
I just don't know if I like that set.
I think I do.
Oh, do you know what? I really thought that was a light tube.
Yeah, so did I, yeah.
Oh,
it's supposed to be. Look, he just had to whack it on the side because it's annoyed him. That's right. Okay, so the top one was probably a fake because that's the one that Del Rio pulled down with his hands, and obviously the stunt didn't go as well as it should. I've messed around with light tubes myself. They put a fantastic effect. But do not try this at home. And even though I was dumb enough to do it myself, guys, as a youngster, I do not recommend it. Because the older I get, Rob, the worse I feel.
Yeah. And you got more wisdom in you now to go, just don't do it.
Yeah.
You know. Oh. Yeah, I'm still unsure about that set.
What is it? What is it you're not sure about? Come on.
I just don't like the dangly LED looking.
Oh, Big Show's climbing it. I like how I'm getting excited about something I've already seen but don't remember.
I don't remember.
Oh my god! Oh. That was cool. So Big Show just pulls Del up by his hair. Of course, a lot of work in it for the both of them there. Mainly, in some ways, Del Rio hopping up.
He's not going through the table, no.
Yeah, I think he might. Yeah, but that's on concrete.
That's on concrete. Oh, he went through.
Ooh! Maybe it's not concrete, but it's still very hard.
I don't remember this.
A spot, mate. That was wicked. I mean, it doesn't look that high up, to be fair, from there.
That's still a good bump, though, isn't it?
It's a great, yeah. Like, yeah, that's not me taking away from the bump. I mean, as a visual, it doesn't look as impressive as you might think when I do this angle.
I'm from the camera down.
Is he going to get up? When I know he gets up, because I know he's the champion at WrestleMania. Then again, I could have forgot he could have lost it and won it back, but I don't think so. He's only just won it, right?
I really can't remember.
Yeah, it must. I think he must keep it here. But anyway,
I think he must have retained it. But
get the C chance. That was amazing, though. Fair play to Del Rio, mate. Taking quite the bump there. And the athleticism to kind of help Big Show and lifting him up there. Amazing.
So it's always good when you see the baby face take the big old bumps, proper bump around for the hill, and then they get their, what's the word? They get shined up and polished up before they do their comeback. That's
work their way back up.
Wrestling jargon for you, because that's what we do.
You mark.
I am, yeah.
Yeah, Big Show looking good here. I think you're right though. The bucket probably is, and Rodriguez probably changed the tide here. See, I'm getting weirdly nostalgic now because I'm seeing the WrestleMania logo in the background. Of course, personally to me, just because I went to that one, yeah, holds a lot to me. I see a clown wig there. That must be Frank the Clown. It's been going there a while then. Del Rio gets out of the ring to move away from the WMD. Guys, we're about to come up to 25 minutes on the Royal Rumble stream here. So again, this is where we are roughly at the moment on the stream. Well, not roughly. That's exactly where we are, guys. If you do want to hop back in as well, but we'll try and bring this up for a little bit more time every 10 minutes at least. But yeah, like I say, I'm getting a bit nostalgic now seeing the road to a WrestleMania that I actually went to. I know I've said it a few times on the channel before that I know going to a live event kind of heightens your kind of appreciation for it. I always go back to Dan went to 23 and loved it, whereas I never quite thought it was that good of a Mania, but of course because he went to it, it feels like much more. So I think it might be the same for me with 29. I thought 29 I really enjoyed, but it doesn't.
It's Frank the Clown.
Yeah, there we go. Oh, and the guy. Oh, here we go. Shows straight through the barrier. We've had that a million times since. Not as many back then, but guys, you got the guys from the army. You don't see that much anymore either. You used to get a lot of guys in the corner like dressed in their army gear. Because they used to show them on screen as well, didn't they? Because of their partnership with what was that thing called? I can't remember what it's called now. But anyway, yeah, going back to WrestleMania. So what do you remember of? We won't talk about it too much because we might cover it, but WrestleMania 29. Do you remember that being a big one or?
Vaguely.
It's got big moments. It's got Undertaker versus Punk. The Shield, I think it might be their first. Yeah, it's their first Mania. They're really cool at it.
Like, I remember bits, but not.
Yeah, that's the thing, yeah. Fandango gets
that's his debut, isn't it?
Yeah, everybody loving him. Yeah. So it's a strange Mania, but I know I appreciate it's not up there as one of the best, but again, in a personal thing.
Hey. I used to have that shirt, by the way.
What shirt?
The Dolph Ziggler one.
Oh, the showing your girlfriend.
Yeah.
I used to
I love a fire extinguisher.
Oh, there we go.
They're always my favorite.
Big Show running away from the fire extinguisher there. It's hard to come across as a babyface in matches like this, isn't it? I think the way they did it on
unless you're The Rock.
Sorry?
Unless you're The Rock or Austin.
Yeah, but the way they did it in the one that it showed earlier on, 3 weeks earlier, where Del Rio kind of like struggles and he pushes, like that's a good way to do it. But does that mean that was the last man standing as well? They had 2 last man standing matches. Oh wow.
There is no way that this is how it ends.
Yeah, because I don't remember the whole. Obviously, if you tell me duct tape, I think of the one with Batista and John Cena. So I can't believe they did this spot twice.
No,
he must break out of it because he's got big old legs.
Hang on. Bayley versus Bianca. How did that finish? Was that duct tape? Oh no, it was a ladder, wasn't it? A ladder underneath.
It's trapped, yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking, is it similar?
That's pretty on there, mate. Like, maybe this does end it. Which is crazy, because the other one was only a few years before this. Let's have a look when that was. Batista.
Well, they counted in Spanish as well.
There we go. Were they?
I think so.
Yeah, so Extreme Rules April 2010. This is only 3 years after that, and they've revisited that spot. I mentioned just then about the congrats to Del Rio, by the way. I just mentioned then though, like the spot with a barricade and how much that's overdone now. But wow. It's a good spot, but like it was only 3 years after it's not even 3 years. It's 3 months shy of 3 years. I did think it was cool when the belt had the red inside, though. That was kind of cool. The strap. Cool ending, even if it is one that we'd only seen 3 years earlier. Some good spots in this, actually. Like, we talk about these matches being quite sluggish and stuff, and I was a bit fearful when it was these two guys together. I couldn't remember how well they would have worked together, but they did really well. I thought it was, like I say, good spots. The table spot was really enjoyable, and I enjoyed that match. Rob, what are you thinking? You there? Oh my gosh, Rob might be gone. Oh no, he's coming back.
There we go. So I was eating my biscuit and then my camera froze.
Oh mate, the biscuit cursed the stream.
Yeah, it did. Damn these Bourbons.
As he watches a ref cut him out with a pair of scissors.
It was good. I thought the bucket was going to come into play though.
Yeah, so I mean, they definitely used it at points, but clearly not this match. I know I want a biscuit.
That's
oh
right.
Wow! Yeah, Matt Striker. Oh, Big E Langston. There we go. Great little trio. These Big E, AJ, and Dolph. Strange that it didn't have a name. Look how well AJ plays a catch. She's just staring at Dolph like. Okay, guys, we've just hit the 30-minute mark as well. So again, if you're watching live and you've lost where you are in the stream, or you're joining us late, or if you're watching on demand and have lost where you are, this is where we are at the moment. We've got Dolph Ziggler being interviewed in the back with a smitten AJ Lee staring at him as Big E the Muscle.
Are you're telling me that if you had the ability to look at Dolph Ziggler, you wouldn't be smitten as well?
Oh, AJ Lee's going to take out Matt Striker. Yeah. Oh, yeah, Dolph's number 1. So this must be, I think, where Jericho's the surprise entrant number 2.
Do you know what I always wanted to see?
Go on.
Someone win Money in the Bank and then win the Rumble. So they have their match at Mania.
Oh, and then like
lose it and then cash in straight away.
That's cool. Yeah, I like that. You could argue it wastes a spot, which we always are very much against, aren't we? With people like Edge winning the Rumble when he would have been at Mania anyway, sort of thing. Yeah. I thought for a second there, I thought that was Big E's voice back then. I was like, what was that? So he's doing a reporter voice, I guess. Interviewing Dolph now. Speaking of Big E, of course, his time as Big E Langston reminds me of the time used to use the 5 count. And if you are a fan of that, or you don't remember it all, then I would suggest checking out our interview with Big E from a little while ago now when he was WWE champion, talking about that 5 count and whether or not he would bring it back here as well. So yeah, it'd be great if you get some time. If you want to hear what his thoughts are on that 5 count, then check it out, guys. It was a great laugh, that interview. So yeah, but I always enjoyed the 5 count.
I was just saying, I love that 5 count.
It was end at some point. That's the thing, but yeah,
but I don't know. I feel like it was because it was only NXT. We didn't get to see it on. Yeah, we didn't get to see it on Raw or SmackDown. Like I guess the main show at this point. Because it was still kind of NXT was still kind of development then, wasn't it?
Yeah. You couldn't, like you say, we didn't get to see it on the main roster really, but at some stage it would have to stop. So doing it before you come up kind of makes sense. But yeah, still it was a fun little gimmick. Cool seeing Big E's old gear as well. I think the New Day's got great gear. Don't get me wrong, but Big E's solo gear was always really cool to me.
So I'm thinking At what point do we get New Day? That's coming up, right? 2000. Was it 2014?
Feels like about that, yeah. Yeah.
So we're at what, 9 years of New Day?
Again, yeah, this is such a transitional time for the WWE. Really is, because 2014 is like a real hot streak. You know, a lot of these guys that we're seeing now really come into their own in 2014. Of course, on screen at the moment, we're seeing Antonio Cesaro, as he would have been known at the time. Again, great interview with that man as well on the main Rebellious Noise channel, which of course where we used to put most of our wrestling stuff before we split off and had these individual channels here on the Rebellious Noise network. So check out our other channels if you're into football and stuff like that. Yeah, the primetime players, we talked about this before in the stream, mate, but I was a big fan of these two. Millions of dollars.
Millions of dollars. Millions of dollars.
Mate, I love the primetime players.
I had that show as well.
I like seeing this. What, you had to watch it, the Randy Orton one?
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say that one of the primetime players one with your own name on it, like Rob.
No.
In sequins. We should do that.
I mean, I want one now.
Yeah. I like this, though. I like seeing these clips. I do miss the kind of when they did, you know, I saw the clip the other day about Eddie Guerrero and Ric Flair stealing the number from the Bull and stuff like that. I wish they did those again. Because they started doing this, I remember, I don't know if it's around this time, where they do picture in picture and they do a background interview, which was very much what they used to do in the 1980s and stuff like that, and the early 90s. So this might be a link to that, but yeah, I quite like it. Wade Barrett.
I think I had that shirt as well, you know?
Yeah?
I think so.
Yeah, you are such a merch hound. Barrett Barrage. How, yeah. So Sheamus had already won one at this point then. 2 years in a row. Okay, so he won a year before. Because he does win it twice, doesn't he? He does go on to win another one. I think.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. Does he wear when he comes back, I think he
because he goes away, right? And he does the Ninja Turtles and stuff, doesn't he? Comes back with a Mohican.
Yeah. But then maybe he doesn't win it twice then. Oh, maybe yeah. Ryback. Again. This is going to be, again, a lot to talk about when we get to this match later on, because I've got a lot of opinions on the Ryback run. No, yeah, he only won the Royal Rumble once. Anyway, he come back on the title again, but yeah, go on. What was you going to say, Rob?
So I was going to say, after the, because we had the Punk, we already watched what happens with that. And we spoke highly a lot on Punk and Ryback and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And the rivalry and whatnot. Do you think this was, I don't want to say the decline. Oh! Bloody hell. But do you think this is the beginning of the decline?
Yes, his last
Ryback.
This is his last opportunity for a great moment. He does tweak his character a bit. He does he does have some big wins and some big moments. But for me, that's kind of what I was kind of hinting on, really, that he should have won this Royal Rumble at the time. Maybe in hindsight you can say now, because I know it's easy. Again, I've said it before. It's easy to hate on Ryback. But I actually think he should have won this Rumble, especially at the time.
I'm not against it. It's just when he's got that awful moustache.
Yeah, no, what do you mean awful? It's a great moustache.
I don't like it.
I love this. I literally saw a clip today of Sandow playing as
is it Mizdow?
Yeah, this is it. I don't know if he's quite started yet, or if they're just friends at this point. Yeah, maybe it's not. But I love that.
Speaking of Cody being there at the moment, obviously with Damien Sandow, but
exactly,
I mean,
yeah. Good
are we going to see Cody again? Is he
again.
Is he ready?
Time of recording, we are close to the Royal Rumble, where, of course, not just rumors, they've outright put him on the poster. So
did you just open up a Steve Weiser?
I did open a Steve Weiser from the follow, yeah.
Yeah. Don't show the name. We're not getting paid.
That was an accident. Okay. Oh, this is against Team Hell No. This is cool. Great how much I like he's doing the no. This team works, you know. It was
I'm
really
amazed they came out to Kane's music as well. You know, I thought for some reason they had like
a
a
mixed
merged song.
Yeah, I was thinking that as well. But yeah, apparently not. So of course, yeah, we got tag team titles on the line now. Team Hell No versus Rhodes Scholars. Two teams thrown together.
I love this.
Again, you would say, oh yeah, Daniel.
I love that.
That you would say, it hardly ever works. But I think it worked with both of these, you know. I always thought Cody should be going on to do bigger and better things, and Daniel Bryan, to be fair. But same as Sandow, to be fair. I really enjoyed Sandow, but Kane already had his big moment in the sun.
Well, Sandow had done it in he went NWA, didn't he?
Well, I was going to say he won the Money in the Bank as well, didn't he? But
well, yeah, there is that. Yeah.
But
that's what it was. It turns it into like the chocolate bar, isn't it?
A chocolate bar?
Yeah, it looks like a chocolate bar.
I don't remember that at all.
The briefcase. It looks. Have a look. The briefcase. Damien Sandow's briefcase looks like a.
Why did it look like a chocolate bar?
Have a look. I swear to you.
All right. Oh yeah. I have no memory of that.
No?
Is it
Did it get thrown in
a classy brown normal briefcase, but they've turned it? Yeah, I think that's what's supposed to be in it.
Know.
So strange. I don't remember that at all. Again, funny what sticks with you and what doesn't.
Oh, that was lovely there from Bryan.
Yeah, great move there. Great to see Daniel Bryan and Cody working together. What are you like?
I hate this move.
Oh, what? Where he stamps your knees down? I like it.
Is it a surfboard? Is that what it's called?
Oh yeah, I like that as well.
It's just this bit. Yeah. Like that's great, bro. It just looks uncomfortable.
Yeah, well, it's a great move.
No,
that's why.
Yeah, but for both people, because Bryan's legs are wrapped round.
Yeah, I'm sure it is, but sometimes you've got to no pain, no gain, and all that. You got to kind of put yourself out there, mate. Oh, lovely drop kick there.
Not my favourite version of Kane either.
Not your favourite?
No.
No, I like being back with a mask. At least he had a mask on, is the way I saw it. But
yeah, how long had Kane been back at this point? A year?
Maybe, yeah.
Because his thing was embrace the hate.
2011, all of that Rider stuff, so it would have been around then.
11. So it's on 2 years since his return. Obviously, a big heel to like now probably one of the bigger baby faces in the company.
Yeah. Again, something that nobody really thought would work, and they made it work really well. This team of Team Hell No.
Do you have a favorite oddball team?
Probably them.
Well, missed really.
Yeah, because I think they were the most over, really. I know a lot of people say rated RKO as well.
Dude Love in Austin.
Who?
Dude Love in Austin.
Yeah, but like, I think these last longer and they do more, don't they? So, and it's just so funny. Like, Rock and Sock Connection, another good one.
Yeah, was it Marella and was it Kozlov?
Yeah, they were good. They were good, but again, nowhere near the level of Team Hell No.
You think do you reckon Team Hell No were the greatest mixed match?
We should do that, shouldn't we? We should do like
that'd be interesting.
Like I guess a tier list or something like that of the best and the worst, like thrown together tag teams. That'd be really fun.
That would be interesting too. Do you know what? We're always already on the road to. What? We need to do Mullet Mania. It's got to
happen. No mullets on this show so far.
Not yet.
Kind of out of the period, you know. I mean, the mullet's made a comeback in recent years. Ooh.
I reckon you should grow out a mullet.
I think you said that last time.
I think I did, you know. I mean, I would, but you won't be able to see it.
Oh yeah, just poke for the mask.
That was nice.
This is that weird time they wouldn't shut up about Daniel Bryan being a vegan, and it was all rumored because Vince didn't like it, and they wanted to just make jokes about it. Like, look, I'm not a vegan, but come on, it's not the way you want to treat your babyface.
No, true. But I guess it was the thing that, especially with JBL, obviously he was the heel commentator, so that was his thing that he wanted to moan about all the time. So I guess it's an easy target, isn't it?
King said it earlier as well. Where it's just yeah.
It's mad to think though that Bryan now from this grows, and then we get like the Yes movement and Yes All Mania. It's literally
I'm talking about again, like going back to 2014. A lot of these guys move on to like be the top of the company, you know. Some of the best things. I think that period is going to be looked at as a real fun period. That nostalgic, the changeover into the network, the Shield coming into their own. Yeah, Daniel Bryan. Some really good stuff. The Wyatt family. But anyway, this is just before, again, a real transitional period here.
It feels like this is the calm before the storm, doesn't it?
Yeah. You can see some of the people kind of bubbling away under the surface, what they would become. Some of them, you know, sadly, not quite in the way you thought. Cody Rhodes, obviously done quite well for himself since. But in that period, you know, getting kind of lost in the shuffle again. Damien Sandow as well ends up getting released. Another person that I thought was going to be huge. I always really enjoyed Damien Sandow.
He would have been good with do you remember the B team?
Oh yeah,
Axel and is it Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas? Yeah. Mr. or Sandow would have is that sort of person that would have fit snugly in that in that group.
Yeah, so this is before obviously Miz. I was saying earlier as if I was confused. Of course, he's not even with the Miz, it's with Cody Rhodes here. So that's after this then, yeah? Because he doesn't go back to being because it's kind of Damien Sandow again. I'm
trying to think because he's not Money in the Bank yet, is he? He hasn't won the Money in the Bank yet.
Yeah, so he can't have gone back to that character. I'm sure he does this.
No, and I think he's with Cody
well, and that's what kind of knocks his career off a bit, and then he reinvents himself with the Miz.
I think so because
that ends, and
because I'm sure Cody's with him at time of when he's the Money in the Bank.
Is he? Okay.
I said the only thing I remember is it looked like a chocolate bar. That's it. I can't even tell you who was in the match.
And that he lost, failed to cash in. Like, was he the first to fail to cash in?
Because
Cena fails as well, doesn't he? But I don't think he's the first.
Cena fails, yeah, but I don't. Do you know what? Even though Cena did fail, I don't like saying that he's a failed cash in because
he failed.
He gave Punk, but he gave Punk a week, and they turned it into a match. So he used his as a way to.
Yeah, but he still failed though, right? I know what you're saying. Yeah, it wasn't an instant cash in where it was
no. Like if it was an instant cash in, he wouldn't have failed it. But obviously, yes, it still goes under the history books as a failed cash in. But it was kind of, you know, how TNA used to do this thing where if you won the X division, you could trade that title win at the X division for a title match at the NWA Championship. The Impact Wrestling Championship.
I don't remember that. Did they? I don't remember that. No.
Yeah,
so you won the X Division title, but you could trade it in for a title match for the world title.
You could. I think, if I remember rightly, you could trade it in for a title shot. Do you want me to check?
I'm sure that would be, that might have been in the period I stopped watching.
I mean, I may be wrong, and I may have only done it once, but I'm sure.
Okay. Oh, that was a very dodgy looking swinging net breaker there between Sandow and Kane. Quite unfortunate.
Yeah, no, I am right.
You're wrong.
Called option. No, I'm right. It's called option C. often see is a concept where the current X Division Championship may voluntarily
When was
vacate
that?
the
When did that happen?
In 2012.
Oh yeah, when it was crap. When I'd stop watching. Who was the champ then?
It was Austin Aries, who later on appears in WWE. So,
Yeah,
I brought it back round, I brought it full circle.
Yeah, well, there you go. I enjoyed his run in WWE, I got to say. I know, again, people look kind of down on him these days, but for personal things and stuff like that. But as far as a performer goes, I always enjoyed his time in NXT, but there we go. Daniel Bryan now trying to get into the Label lock. Oh, he called
Is it the yes lock at this point?
Yeah, because he just called it. Oh, there we go. Sandow taps. Michael Cole just called it the yes lock, corrected himself, called it the no lock.
Oh, this is just after anger management. They were some of their best segments, you know.
Yeah, they were great. Again, there were some good things happening. It's strange, isn't it? Because we saw Survivor Series, which was only 2 months earlier, and already I feel like the product is a lot better.
Yeah.
In 2 months. Like, there are things that I'm liking about it. But I guess that's what, the road to WrestleMania can do to you. Kick yourself into gear.
That's true.
All about the numbers. Here we go. I love a number promo package. Some of these facts will be out of date now, so it'll be interesting to see. So they're doing the numbers already. So, so it's the Rumble now then, and then it'll be the Rock and Punk.
It's got to be.
Yeah.
Bro, it feels like it's only just started. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah, well, we're 50 minutes in. So, an hour for a Rumble. Well, this ain't going to get started for another 5 minutes, let's say. So, an hour from there is 1:55, and that leaves 50 minutes for the main event, which, I can see. 10-minute program package entrances, 40 on the match.
At this point, 724 people have entered the match to try and win a Royal Rumble match.
Yeah, should be a few more now, isn't it? 10 years later.
Wow. My favorite Rumble, that.
Which one? 2001?
2001.
Yeah, the Hardcore Rumble.
Oh. 457 big shows. How are they going to do him dirty like that?
All right, so as we watch this promo, guys, again, if you're watching on demand or live, we really do appreciate it. But if you are watching at least within the month of January 2023, I think it's a good time to let you know about some things we've got coming up on the channel, where we'll be covering, of course, the Royal Rumble of 2023. We've also already talked about how WWE seems to have ruined the surprises of Cody Rhodes and The Rock, but definitely of Cody Rhodes by putting him on the poster for this year. But that being said, it's a fantastic poster nonetheless. But yeah, we're going to be covering the Royal Rumble in depth this year. And again, if you're watching this after the Rumbles happened, I'm sure you can go back and see some more content anyway with the recap and review. But before that, of course, we have our predictions and preview, which will be coming up in about a week's time from today's recording. After that, on the night of the event, we'll have the build-up show, of course, where we'll kind of catch up on any kind of rumors and happenings that have gone on the go-home shows and things like that. There are some of our most fun streams to do, really, because I guess there are no holds barred, to use a wrestling term. They're really, really fun. And then the day after the pay-per-view, we'll also have a recap and review of the Royal Rumble as well. So yeah, stick with us here on the Rebellious Noise Pro Wrestling channel if you want to talk about, well, hear us talk about the 2023 Royal Rumble. If you want to hear us go back in time a little bit more, like we mentioned earlier on, we did the pay-per-view, well, the biggest one, at least the top 4, top 5 one before this pay-per-view stream we're doing here, which of course was Survivor Series 2012. We also did a 2002 version of Survivor Series as far as the watch along goes. And also on this channel, we've covered SummerSlam 92, SummerSlam 2002, and ECW One Night Stand. Of course, plenty of interviews on the channel as well, as we mentioned earlier on, with the likes of Finn Balor, to the Street Profits, to even our buddy Drew McIntyre as well. So again, check out the channel, subscribe if you haven't already, and plenty of archive content for you to go through, but also plenty of upcoming stuff to get excited about. So yeah, we won't go too much into it, Rob, but this year's Rumble, I'm guessing you're excited. Yeah. It's a strange time to be a wrestling fan after all the things we've covered recently on the channel with the Vince McMahon stuff, but it's always fun to be on the road to WrestleMania and therefore the road to the Rumble.
Yes and no, actually. Like a part of me is thinking like, oh, it's going to be so good and we're going to see this and this is happening. Oh, wait, did she give them the numbers? Oh, Vicky's giving them the numbers.
I like this as well. It's kind of cool. But I know what you mean, I guess, because of... Could have go straight back out, though. They've seen each other's numbers. Is the one to swap? Oh. Kane won't show. Oh, here we go. The anger management's all kind of going out the door here. That's what was cool about him being dysfunctional. Even when it worked out, they went backwards a little bit, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Naughty Kane. This is where we are on the stream, guys. Right, so just going back to this year's Rumble then, Rob. I know what you mean, because everything that's going on, I was so excited about it. But
I got so wrapped up in that segment. Yeah. I was like,
it has been dampened by obviously the kind of the unrest really that seems around the company. But either way, I'm sure we'll dig deeper in that. Story is ever changing, as we know, and either way, even if there's kind of fearful things going on with WWE, it's an exciting time to be talking about WWE. So
100%.
Yeah, we'll cover a lot of that on the stuff for this year's Rumble. But taking it back to 2013, mate, we're about to get into Royal Rumble. Oh, it's talking about NXT Developmental Stars. Here we go. What's this? They're the tournament to get into the Rumble match at the Royal Rumble Fan Fest. I don't really do this today anymore. This is pretty cool. I know they do a lot of this at like Manias.
Oh, the Funkadactyls.
Yeah. This feels like a very WrestleMania thing, isn't it? Like the stuff they do, like Access and stuff like that. Doesn't seem like they always do this for the Rumble, do they? I know in recent years it's felt bigger because, you know, they had that 40,000 capacity venue recently. Who was that with that jacket?
Oh, Corey Graves.
Oh, Corey Graves. No, before that, someone had one up to here. Oh, Bo Dallas. I reckon he might be popping up again soon. That early stage of Triple H having the short hair is really strange still.
Do you think?
Yeah, because it's even shorter now.
He don't even have any hair now, does he?
No, it's pretty much bald, pretty much gone, you know, so... And because he looks younger as well, so it feels like a different Triple H.
This does feel like an Access.
Yeah, fair play. Like make the show seem big. I'm all for that. Beer Star. Still doing that to this day, of course.
Bro, isn't it? It's now Tyrus.
Yeah, NWA champion.
DiBiase Jr.
Cameron. All right. So again, anyone that's joining us live or on demand, if you want to know where we are on the stream at the moment, we're watching on the network and we are 58 minutes and 33 seconds at the moment into the show. Decent show so far, Rob. I've enjoyed it more than I remembered. Not that I remembered not liking it. I just didn't remember that much about it. So I think after coming out of that Survivor Series stream, I wasn't as looking forward to this as maybe I should have been. But I've been pleasantly surprised. So yeah, it's what about you, mate? What have you been thinking about the show so far?
Yeah, it's not been too bad, is it? It's weird to think you've got the Royal Rumble match, then the Rock and Punk, and that's it. Show's over.
Yeah, it does.
It does feel like it's very short, but the Rumble is so long. Yeah,
true. Good point. Daniel Wiley's here. Hi guys, how are you? Daniel, we're really good, mate. Thank you very much for joining us. We're currently watching the Royal Rumble 2013. I'm sure you've seen now. Hopefully you're synced up with us, mate, if you want to watch it with us. But just in case you're not, we're about to get to the hour mark, and the Royal Rumble itself is about to begin. Someone else was commenting saying, nice British accent. Thank you, buddy. You've got an interesting choice of name and picture. So unfortunately, we won't be putting yours on the screen. But hey, I'm sure you knew that in the first place, and that's why you chose that name. But thanks for joining us regardless. Here we go. Starting out with Dolph Ziggler. I love Dolph at this period, mate. Again, we talked earlier on about the three of these together. Fantastic little stable. It's got the money in the bank, like you said earlier on. It'd be interesting to see someday if someone ever does win the Royal Rumble as Money in the Bank holder. It doesn't happen here, of course. Spoiler alert, but we do get a great cash in done out after Mania, which we'll probably cover on this channel soon because it's coming up to the 10th anniversary and it was fantastic. Flippin' heck. Look at that kiss from Dolph and AJ there. Went on quite a bit there. Daniel says, nice Arsenal hat, decent win today. Thank you very much, Daniel. Yeah, it was a great win. Of course, currently recording this, or at least live, on January the 15th, 2023. And Arsenal have just gone 8 points clear at the top of the Premier League after beating Tottenham, which is always a nice thing to be saying. So, yeah, I'm very happy, Daniel. Much appreciated for your comment there. And who knows? We'll see how it turns out at the end of the season. But hey, this is the wrestling channel. If you're into hearing what we think about football, Daniel, or anyone else, we've got a football channel as well. The Rebellious Noise football channel, RNFC. So if you get a chance, mate, check us out on there. We would appreciate it. You see Ramsdale got kicked in the head. He did. It was crazy. A fan, or I think it was more on his back though, wasn't it? But I saw Richarlison hit him at the back in the head, and then a fan kicked him in the back. Did you see this, Rob? Crazy. Felt like a Royal Rumble match because all the players came together. It was mad. But yeah, Daniel, once again, thanks for bringing it up, and check out our football channel. Like I said, Rebellious Noise football channel, Daniel. If you go to our main channel, if we go to our channel or our Rebellious Noise channel, at least you should see our other kind of sister channels in the bottom there as well, if you can't find it through searching. But yeah, thank you very much for your comments. So he doesn't care who number 2 is, guys. Of course, we're watching the Royal Rumble 2013. And I'm pretty sure I know who this is. I'm sure it's a return. And I mentioned it earlier on. There we go. Fireworks. Break the walls down, guys. Chris Jericho is back. How cool would it be to say that again, mate, for WWE? As much as I'm enjoying his work in AEW. Fans going wild for this one because it was a genuine return. One of those where he'd been gone for a fair while. It was a great way to start the Rumble, actually, this. And these two guys work really well together as well. So,
was this the build-up to...
I'm mad. Sorry, go on.
This was the build-up to the jacket, right? And then the whole thing's about the jacket.
What whole thing's about the jacket?
I'm trying to think. This is the first time we see him in this jacket, isn't it?
No. He come in the jacket.
Is it not?
Before. I'm sure he come in it before.
I can't remember. Because I remember he had he has the feud with Ambrose, about the jacket. That happens, and then they get the bump.
That's not happening because Ambrose with a shield.
Yeah.
But also, it's a great jacket, that one, isn't it? Also, he goes into facing Fandango.
Yeah.
So yeah, that, like we said earlier on.
I can't remember.
Daniel says, I sub to your football channel. Thanks, Daniel. Really do appreciate that. Hope you like our content over there. Is the Rumble where Reigns wins? No, this isn't the Rumble where Reigns wins. Reigns has only just come into it at this point, Daniel. So he's still locked in with a shield, and it's the match where if they interfere in CM Punk's match, you got to remember CM Punk was aligned with a shield at first, of course. We talked about that on our Survivor Series watch along from 2012 where they debuted a little while ago as well. They are, Punk would lose the title basically. Yeah. So if you do get some time, Daniel, if you ever want to rewatch 2012 or anyone else, check us out doing that. If you ain't got time for that, you just want to hear our thoughts on the Shield as a faction and their debut, then we've got a clipped version of that on this channel as well. But yeah, it's not the one that Roman Reigns wins. It is the one, maybe, do I say, is it a spoiler if it happened 10 years ago? But we'll see later on. Always exciting to see a Rumble match, even if I
don't know.
At the time,
is it a spoiler?
The wrong person won. Go on. What was that?
I say, is it a spoiler? Like, I feel like we know everyone knows who it is.
Great to see Jericho back at this point. Again, great reception there.
It's crazy to think where he is at this point. And then, I mean, just think about like where he is 10 years later and everything is done. It's madness.
Yeah. I mean, we always talk about, what a guy to reinvent himself. Got a lot of love and appreciation for Jericho. Sometimes some of these things have he's dipped in popularity and dipped in how interesting I found his character. But 9 times out of 10, he brings it back. And, great. One of my favorites of all time, Chris Jericho. But as you say, like this Jericho looks like a completely different person to the Jericho we know now. And a completely different.
For a start, he's got shorter hair.
Y2J. Yeah, short hair Jericho for a start. You still got it. Funny that they're giving him that in 2013. Yeah, he says I never lost it, maybe. But yeah, I can imagine it probably annoyed him, to be fair. I guess it's the kind of, you've been away for a while type thing.
That was a 90 seconds, was it?
No, I didn't feel it. They do change it though, don't they? So who's coming out next? I'm excited as if we're actually watching a Rumble live.
I can't remember.
Oh, Smoke and Mirrors, baby. We've got Cody Rhodes. Oh, I love this song, by the way. And the other version of it as well.
Have you seen the video of John Cena just walking around backstage singing his song?
Yeah. It was a good tune, mate. So you want
I love them sort of moments.
Mustache?
No, like I don't want to put this right. It's sounding like a stupid sentence. It just doesn't suit his face. Does that make sense?
It looks weird. Don't get me wrong.
Like I know I am used to seeing Cody now, like with the tattoo and
and the blonde hair, and
yeah. Like, but seeing Cody like this, my favorite was it was just after dashing with the face mask.
Oh yeah, the paper bags and all that as well.
Oh, bro, that was incredible. That was probably my favorite of Cody, other than Cody now. That was just incredible. The promos, the build, the dashing into was it undashing? Was that what it became?
Undashing, was it?
Was it undashing Cody Rhodes? I can't remember. But that was just fantastic.
Yeah, I loved all that. Again, it's such an interesting period in WWE, such a transitional period. We said quite a few times already on the stream that going into, it's just 2013, but when going to 2014, there's a lot of people that have risen. A lot of people that we thought might by that time haven't, and they bloomed a little bit later, or at least got given a chance a little bit later, of course, with Cody's opportunities coming more recently, of course, now that he's made a name for himself and come back. Here we go, another entrant. Who's it going to be? Oh!
I hear them shout.
Old school Kofi Kingston here.
Boom.
Great theme song, this one. A remnant and leftover of his kind of Jafakan days. Yeah.
I loved Cody. Sorry, Kofi. He was so good at this point. He
Yeah.
like, don't get me wrong, I love him in New Day, Kofi Mania, fantastic. I love all of it. But when he was on his own, or when he was teaming with Punk, do you remember?
Yeah.
Or they would travel with Punk. Him and Evan Bourne as Air Boom. Just
Yeah,
that was
they were
a
great.
different Kofi to now.
I always love that from Kofi, by the way, just bouncing back off the
Beautiful.
rope. Good way to do it on the Rumble, of course. But yeah, me too, man. I always enjoy Kofi. I don't know if he would have ever. Weirdly enough, I don't know if he would have ever become WWE champion like this, even though he had that run with Randy Orton. But then I would have said in New Day that the time was over. It was never going to happen. And somehow they made it happen within the New Day. It just made sense. And it was, I mean, Kofi Mania, as you said, it was so good.
It was Ali. He took Mustafa Ali's spot, wasn't it? In the chamber.
It was, yeah. And then just the fans, mate. Because it wouldn't have been in the plans, you know. Same as the Daniel Bryan one, as obvious as that was, they just clearly weren't going to do it.
It was fan led, yeah.
But yeah, Kofi Mania was so good. Another one I was privileged to be there for. That was actually in the same venue at the Mania we're building up to for this show, of course, MetLife. Same venue for that WrestleMania as well. So
that Kofi Mania got me tearing, you know. Like,
yeah,
it's just that moment.
Yeah. Oh, Santino.
Oh, here we go.
So he just come back again. I know we're dating this now for anyone watching this in the future, but he's just come back to Impact, right?
As Santino Marella as well.
This
is when he's.
I'm surprised.
Is this when he done the speed walking stuff? So this is Cobra, right?
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah.
Is this the one where we get Foley and they do the Cobra versus Socko?
I don't know. Oh, everyone's coming back on a timeout. It says it was great comedic wrestler. Here we go to Cobra.
Crazy to think that a Cobra was over.
Yeah, well, a sock was over, like you said. Is he going straight out? I can't remember. Yeah, that's it. That's a shame.
Maybe not.
There's that time that he nearly wins. It's the Chamber, right?
Was it the Chamber? Yeah.
Or was it the Rumble?
The fans were fully behind him. It was the Chamber, wasn't it?
I think it was the Chamber, yeah. I always feel like it might have been the Rumble. I think it was the Chamber. But yeah, sadly, Santino has been eliminated. Walking to the back.
Lasted longer than he does before, though.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know if, again, was that before this or after this? Not quite sure.
It was in a build-up. He lasted 1 second.
Oh, so yeah, they've already covered it then. Yeah, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. So, here we got. Free MB.
Which one?
I was going to mention Free MB earlier on when you said about, it's Drew, mate.
Oh my days.
It's change in what we're seeing 10 years later.
I can't take him serious like that.
It's cool to see, I got to say. But yeah, you mentioned earlier on the B team. That reminds me of 3MB. So yeah, I was going to mention these earlier on. So I completely forgot this is the period that they were actually there.
Have you heard the I know it's off topic, kind of to do with 3MB. Did you ever hear the story about when Hornswoggle was a part of, when he joined 3MB?
Mm-hmm.
And they wanted him to join straight away or something like that, or that was the build for against the Los Matadors. Was it the Los Matadors?
Yeah,
and El Toro. And they got Hornswoggle obviously to be a part of it. Apparently, they cut up a pair of Heath Slater's trousers to when they were bit, and then got them to fit Hornswoggle. I think it's on the New Day podcast. It's when they literally have the convo with Hornswoggle.
Okay, yeah.
Right. But if you ever get a chance, listen to it. It's a great interview. But it's
I
so
like
funny.
Hornswoggle, right? I think he played his role really well, and even 3MB. I know Drew looks back on it as like, terrible period now because he's not ultimately what he wanted to be and what he's now become. Hold on, who's coming out here? Oh, a primetime player. Which one? Oora. Okay, Titus O'Neil. But I gotta say, and this is a credit to all three of them, but I think they made it work at times. Yeah, they were squashed, and Yeah, it weren't where they wanted to be, but I think they made the best out of it. You know, when they disbanded and were released, I was gutted. You know, not just for them as individuals, but I was actually enjoying their run together. So,
that's a clubbing clothesline there.
Obviously, it works out for Drew in the end. Jinder as well becomes WWE champ. To be fair, Heath Slater has that great run with the I Got Kids with Rhino and becoming tag champ as well. So
yeah, but then when he left, he done like quite well in Impact, didn't he?
Yeah, he went to Impact.
Yeah. So like he obviously it wasn't the main thing that you were going to get at WWE, no, but you know, still to like become a champ, and then obviously now team with Rhino again.
Oh, is he?
So that's I think they're still together.
Is that what they're doing? Okay. I don't watch Impact at all. I gotta say,
it's not that bad, you know. It's
you always say that, but every time I give it a chance, within seconds, I'm like, nah, it's not for me.
Do you know what I did like? Major League Wrestling, MLW. Oh,
yeah, and you always say that as well. I never bothered.
I know.
You have to give that a chance.
You know,
TNA. Look, I admire about TNA is that every time I turn into it, it does have like people have. It kind of puts me off though. I go, I don't know who this is, but they present people quite well within their own brand. But
definitely,
they were doing that better about 5 years ago because you'd hear a buzz about someone. And
oh God.
Is this a return? Sorry, what was that? What did you say? I missed.
I was moving the microphone. It went. Sorry, the microphone fell down.
Oh, here we go. So
Goldust. Do you know what?
And Cody.
Is this? No, this is the point. Yeah, this is where we get up. It builds up to Battleground with and the Rhodes brothers team together against the Shield.
Wow. This is cool.
It's 2013, Battleground 2013. Because Dusty's there. And he whips the belt off and starts whipping Dean Ambrose with it. Yeah.
But...
Was it 2014?
I don't know. But either way, Goldust is back. It seems like he'd been gone because everyone's well into it. Great little story between these two, you know, them working together and being against each other, whether it's All In,
Bro, that moment.
WWE, Stardust, you know, it's all really good. What were we talking about? TNA Impact. So yeah, a few years ago, I felt like they'd always have a star that was making waves, and it forced you to pay attention to Impact, and then they would leave, and then they'd become, you know, Karrion Kross and Scarlett, Tessa Blanchard. It didn't quite work out for her, obviously, but you know, these people making big waves. Drew McIntyre himself, but I feel like that hasn't happened for a while. No one's been big enough for me to go, oh, I should watch Impact. You see what that guy's doing over there.
Yeah, but anyone that was big at that point, though, kind of moved on to, they went AEW. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
they moved from
like you say, you said a little while ago, didn't you? Penta and Phoenix as well. David Otunga, mate. Oh, I like David Otunga. Ooh,
I liked Otunga.
Black eye there and cuts. And what else I liked about Otunga is music. It is a banger. This has got to be towards the end of his career because he didn't wrestle for long, did he?
No, I don't think so.
And he'd come back for random little spots here and there because he did it was more the analysis, you know, like, and he was good at that as well. But
I loved having an analysis on commentary. So you had the 2-man booth and an analysis.
Yeah, well, he did it on the pre-show a lot, didn't he?
Mm.
Let's see, what's David Otunga doing these days? American actor is how he's described. And
wasn't he in what's the film Battleship?
What's that?
It's I think it's got Rihanna in it.
Is it? Nah, he's not in anything called Battleship. He's been in Criminal Minds.
Oh, I don't know them. Unless they were promoting Battleship on the, you know, when they do that random thing when they promote a film.
Yeah.
I don't know them.
Yeah, well, there we go. Anyway, back to the Rumble itself. 3MB, another member. Who we getting? Oh, Heath, we've just been talking about him. The Axl Rose of a 3-man band. So this is where we are, guys, at the moment on the stream. We'll bring it up every now and then, but we'll try our best to at least bring it back up on every 10-minute interval as well.
It just doesn't feel like we've been watching this for an hour and 17 minutes.
Yeah, I guess that's a good thing, isn't it?
No, like it, because normally in a Rumble, it's later. It's like at the 2-hour mark. Do you know what I mean? So to be this early,
they have 2 Rumbles, don't they? So,
well, yeah, that is true. Milli Vanilli. Do you remember them?
Yeah, what a reference. It's very other than Jericho, and of course, people that become big stars like Kofi and Cody. This is a very, at this time at least, other than Jericho and Ziggler, who's about to have a big breakout moment. It's very mid-cardy at the moment, isn't it?
Definitely.
Lower mid-card, if anything, as well.
Yeah.
Nothing against these guys. Again, loved the primetime players. Cody became a fantastic star. Loved Otunga. Loved 3MB, separate and together. But yeah, it's just the way they're presenting at the time. Here we go, Sheamus. Big star
man.
at the time. He's well excited.
What?
Yeah,
Was he
he's
running
like
that?
bulging out of his head, mate. He was well ready to go.
Do you know what? I always question. It's going to sound stupid again, but how does he get so white?
Well, that's what I was just going to say, actually, because on the graphic they called him the Great White, which was surely in reference to his complexion. And he used to look like, especially before this, I remember when he's facing Cena and that, like extreme. He doesn't really look like it anymore. But I don't know if I made this up, if I'm making this up, or if I'm right in thinking that he did say he used to stay out of the sun to try and add to the character.
I don't know. I'm sure Cena at one point called him a giant bottle of mayo or something like that.
Yeah, there was one time I remember watching him and thinking, "You look like milk." Like I thought it must have been bleach or something like that. I couldn't believe it. It might have been the contrast on my TV or something, but I remember one time watching and thinking, "No, that's fake." So
I'll tell you what,
I don't know.
The next time we do press,
I'm gonna have to ask him.
If we get the chance to speak to Sheamus, that needs to be the question that's asked.
Oh gosh, I'm terrified of asking that.
And I'll let you ask it as well.
Yeah, oh, thanks.
It's all right.
Oh, Tensai, flipping
out. Oh, Tensai.
Yeah, annoying. Did a lot in Japan. I actually enjoyed him as A-Train and even as Albert with TNA, but yeah, didn't have the greatest run of Tensai, but no surprise there. He could barely stand when he got in the ring there. That was a bit uncomfortable viewing.
Well, he normally comes in from he gets over the rope, doesn't he?
Yeah.
When he was Tensai, he had like a whole presence. So I just think certain characters don't fit that quick run to the ring.
Yeah, good point. Yeah.
But
yeah, going back to talking about the press, of course, Rob, we've been talking on this channel a while ago about again at time of recording, Money in the Bank is going to be here in London, so that's going to be fun. And stick with us on this channel because we'll try and cover that as much as we can and in depth. Hopefully, you get opportunity like we did for Clash at the Castle in Cardiff to interview some of the wrestlers as we mentioned earlier on. So yeah, stick with us on this channel because we've got a lot more great content coming throughout the year. Let us know also what classic pay-per-view you want us to cover, because I think there's loads we can go into, but I am quite interested in covering what this leads to, Rob. So at least WrestleMania, but maybe Elimination Chamber as well. But we'll see the closer we get to those pay-per-views.
Yeah, because it all feels like it's all going to be 10-year anniversary, isn't it?
Exactly. So we might as well do all the big ones at least.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Brodus Clay. We talked about this a lot. Speaking of our watch-alongs, and this is why it is interesting to do it in kind of, in chronological order, at least in 10-year anniversaries, because we did go quite in depth on this character at the Survivor Series watch-along. Because he was a brand new character at the time, as they just said there. Michael Cole saying it's his first Rumble, I think it's easy to forget how over this guy was because, again, I know people are quite against him now for some of the things he said publicly in political views and stuff like that, and the way he's booked in NWA. But you can't deny that at this time he was very entertaining, very over, and a big part of WWE programming.
Yeah. Obviously, so they've just said that the two big men. So obviously, Tensai and how do you call it, Tyrison?
Yeah.
Rhodes.
Oh, Goldust nearly slipped out the ring there. Getting thrown by Cody.
But remember, he would have gone under the bottom rope, so he's still in it.
Yeah, true. Oh, Cody just did an impression of him. Nearly get thrown out by his own brother there. Oh, is it going to happen?
Oh, he's teetering.
Nah, Goldust go out, surely. Surely the heel's got to get out the babyface here. Get his own brother out, Fighting on the apron. This is what I like about not remembering certain spots, because it still feels exciting. Oh, Cole calls him Dustin there. Oh, Goldust is gone.
Oh. Great elimination, though. I like that.
It was, yeah. Very smart. Great booze. Great smug look from Cody. Very well done. We've got someone else coming out now. And then just after that, Rob, I want to go back to what you were going to say there. Booyaka. Okay, here we go. Rey Mysterio. Yeah, what was you going to say, Rob?
Love that mask as well, by the way. Which he also wore a version of recently.
Recently, I think it looks like the one he wore recently, because I really like that one I saw recently.
So the one on SmackDown was a full head piece, and it had the zip at the back. So I don't know if he brought like a traditional looking one. But that is one of my favorite masks of Rey of all time.
This one was in here or the new one?
So the original version of kind of this one, obviously in that style. And then we've got the when he is the Panther, when it's all purple against Eddie at WCW.
Yeah.
That is my favorite. But that's a one piece. That's a one piece thing. So over his head, and it was zipped up, and that was it.
Oh yeah, it looks like that. Yeah, it's a whole like
it's like a full suit. If you want more information on that, then I think there's a documentary about it.
Is it? Okay.
Somewhere, yeah, I think so. Was a Sandow? Yeah. So it was. So we got tons of. You got Albert, or what's he called there? Tensai.
Yeah.
And Brodus Clay, and then I think by the end of this year, maybe the beginning of the next year, 2014, they team up and they're called Tons of Funk.
Yeah, Tons of Funk. Yeah.
And which we were talking about.
To watch these things like this, ain't it? Like to go. Like, oh wow, you remember where things go, because it's so easy at the time thinking this guy's going to be a big star, or they should book this, or is this ever going to amount to something? Will we get the answers to why they booked it this way? And it's not often you get to go back and really, answer those questions. So it is quite interesting to be able to do it. I think even doing it a year back would be interesting to do, but I don't think there'll be as much nostalgia for that. But anyway, Damien Young in the ring helps eliminate Brodus Clay, not in it for very long, being pretty much. I don't know if this is in the peak of his thing or if it's about to come, but that seemed very, very quick for Brodus Clay to be eliminated.
Oh, is this the point where he uses JBL's
chair? Yeah, that's it. JBL's
he lands on his back, doesn't he?
He what? Sorry.
He lands on his back, doesn't he?
What is that? How he gets on?
There we go.
Yeah.
And then he gets put on the announce table.
Okay, so here we go. Now Kofi's very well done. This man.
What?
So I think they showed it. Sorry.
Go on. Say what you were going to say.
I was going to say they showed it in the promo package, didn't they? Where he did the handstand. So they'd already done that one at this point. So he's thinking about jumping, which he does end up doing, doesn't he? He does it from the other barricade at one point.
Yeah. Now look, this annoys me, right? And I don't want to pick holes in it because I really enjoy this spot.
Yeah.
Now, he should have been put on the other announce table because there's set of steps on his left, so he could have walked around the top of the apron and jumped onto them. So I always feel like he should.
It gives an opportunity for a way around it, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. So he has to all run across them.
I like that JBL's all for it. He's like, I got to see this. But look, this is awkward about the Rumble. Someone's about to come out. You can't do it yet. Bo Dallas, there we go. Big name, of course, being talked about at the moment, as we said.
You
Stick
liked
with
Bo,
us on
didn't
this
you?
channel, and hopefully we'll be talking about him again. What was that, mate?
I said you liked Bo, didn't you?
I love Bo. I always believed. Here we go. This is such a risky thing. I mean, all of them are. Because there was that one little while ago that he failed, didn't he?
Yeah.
Which I think is good. You shouldn't always be able to do it.
Do you know have you got a favorite Kofi redemption in the Rumble moment?
I really like this one. I'm trying to think of the other ones off the top of my head.
So we've got
I used
this
to like
one.
John Morrison's ones as well.
John Morrison had a good one. There was this one for Kofi. The big jump that we spoke about earlier.
Damien Young's gone. Yeah.
Bye DY.
Disaster kicking Cody's gone. Kofi's gone even.
But my favourite was when Adam Rose come out with the rosebuds, and then Kofi gets thrown over the top and lands on the Rose. They catch him, walk him around the ring, and put him back up again.
Yeah.
Then Adam Rose gets thrown out, and they're not there.
See, I like how they're pushing Cody in this, man. He's proper heel, man. Baby, proper. After eliminating his brother and then Kofi, a big baby face. Oh, the Godfather.
Oh,
here we go. Big return here.
Has he got any garden furniture with him?
There we go. It ain't easy. They're just a little bit, a bit more, I guess. Yeah. There we go. We use that word.
Classy.
Than the old days. His Rat Pack. Oh my gosh. JBL there, referencing the. I guess you can't call them the hose at this point either.
That's why I said garden furniture.
Yeah. Yep.
Garden tools, is that better? I don't know. Do you know what? I always liked him as Papa Shango.
Yeah, people like him. Oh, is he going straight out?
Oh.
Oh yeah, and he walks back with the women. Yeah, I remember this. He's like, oh well, off I go. Let's go back. I like that. That was a good way to do it. This music's still on as well. Like, I ain't gonna put him down, guys. He's still having fun. Is this before he goes into the Hall of Fame? I think it might be, because I don't think they've referenced it there. It's not often you get a character, as you mentioned, Papa Shango, that they're willing to say, "Oh, he played several people." You know?
Yeah, definitely. I
did.
Yeah, I did. I know what I liked him as Godfather. Good father, but a right to censor, not so much.
Yeah, but I like that because he was supposed to hate him. Wade Barrett, here we go. Cool entrance here. The white title, of course, brought back by Cody. The jacket and the rose, very cool. Is this when he has? Yeah, he has a very plain attire, just a Union Jack. Reminds me of something you saw on World of Sport back in the day. So I really appreciate this. Something I feel like Wade Barrett struggled with, and you had the text on the back as well. That so much like
you love that text, don't you?
Sorry,
that was just you. Was it you that likes the? It's just like old school wrestler, British wrestling. It's just
that's
Barrett
it. It's just like World of Sport. His trunks are like. Just the graphic on the back, it's very simple. It doesn't fit 2013 at all, but it was a proper throwback. And that's why it works for me. But yeah, something I felt like Barrett always struggled with was the fact that they changed his theme song so much.
Yeah.
So the fans couldn't new themes.
Yeah, the fans just couldn't get with it. Every time you'd think, oh, he's finally getting there.
It was hit and miss, wasn't it? It was, but again, even his character, he had a few kind of tweaks to his character anyway. So
you know what? It's mad to think that only a couple years before this, he was leader of Nexus. And in that time, we've had Punk as the lead. The new Nexus disband. The core, become something, disband. Punk take over Nexus and become the new Nexus, disband. And then have his 434-day run or whatever it is as WWE champion. Bro, that's madness.
Yeah.
That is crazy to think like that. It feels like it was around this time as well, at 2013 when it all happened.
Yeah, you're right. It's,
I think I had that Cena shirt, you know.
Of course you did.
I think I had the yellow one.
Oh yeah, it was like reverse, wasn't it? Like reverse colors.
Yeah.
I like this. That Cena's like getting ready with all the heels ready to go after him. That's pretty cool. Is he going to push off and he'll fly off? I hope not. It ain't the Big Show. There we go. No, he's just fighting back. But yeah, going back to what you said about Wade and just how many things have changed in that time. It doesn't feel that long. Again, when you look back on it, I feel like this is the same sort of era. But yeah, it's been.
Oh my goodness!
God, Slater's elimination. Oh, Rhodes went too easy. Oh. This is why that's wrong. So that's a big mistake. Rhodes shouldn't be the victim of a random like Jericho won't be here, you know?
Yeah.
And Rhodes shouldn't have been either.
Bo Dallas. If it wasn't Cody, it should have been Bo.
Should have been Bo.
But then I guess they didn't want to do that to Bo, I guess.
I don't know. Yeah, because everyone else in the ring is pretty strong at the moment.
Bo's
the kind of weakest one.
And he just wanted the NXT tournament that they were talking about earlier on the show. So
is that what this is then? He's because they mentioned it.
Yeah, he was the winner of the NXT tournament. Yeah,
they didn't show it on the video, did they? They just said that someone.
No, it come up as the pack. He says that he won it.
Oh yeah, we saw his name earlier, didn't we? Yeah.
And then it comes up in his nameplate. He said NXT tournament winner.
Oh, okay. Oh, Sandow, yeah. Still selling the effects of the previous match, which is good. I guess why is it Cody's gone to do it here, to be fair? For Sandow to come out now that they're obviously teaming at this time. This is where we are, guys, on the stream. Of course, we're watching on the network. If you're watching on Peacock, DVD or Blu-ray, watching on demand or live, and you've lost where you are synced up with us, then this is where we are in the stream at the moment. We'll try and bring this back every 10 minutes. I'll bring it back at 1 hour 40, hopefully, as well. But this is where we are on the show at the moment, guys. We are watching the Royal Rumble from 2013. And it's been a good show so far, Rob. It's been a lot better than I remembered. A little bit annoyed about what happened to Cody Rhodes just there, but can't win them all.
It's all right, though, mate, because remember, it's 2013. And I think it gets through it, you know? No spoiler or anything. But
I think he does, yeah. But that was a great sign, though. He could have been so much at this point.
Yeah.
Wow, that cheer.
Wow.
Such a shame he fell there. But I love cheer for that Wars of Jericho was unreal. That was crazy, Rob. Do you like it
when they done the WWE? Sorry, do you like it when they done the WWE version of the Walls, or his version, or more the Lion Tamer? Should we call it?
I like that he uses it different for different people. I like that when it's a rookie, sometimes he did the Lion Tamer, you know, put the knee in the back and all that. Yeah, so I don't mind. It can look lazy, the WWE version sometimes, but
it's the Boston Crab, isn't it?
Yeah. But that can look, when they sit, it looks lazy. When he stands, it depends how it's put on. Like all submissions, really. Daniel Bryan here, of course, very over, but not quite to the level of everybody's going to turn on Rey Mysterio over, which happens in a few years' time. But yeah, very over still. The yes chance here. So Kane's got to be coming in soon, obviously.
Soon.
Daniel Bryan, number 20, was it?
I wasn't counting numbers, to be honest, bro.
I didn't expect you to count, but it came up on the screen.
I was too busy.
You looked at the graphic for Bo Dallas, but you didn't look at it for numbers.
Yeah, sorry.
All right, guys. So once again, we are 1 hour and coming up to 57 minutes. Sorry, 37 minutes, I should say. We'll try and bring this back up at 1 hour 40 as well, just to let you know where we are in the stream. Johnny Black says, let's go. I just tuned in, guys. How are you? We're really good, Johnny, mate. Thank you so much for joining us. We are currently watching the Royal Rumble from 2013. Do you have any memories of this show, Johnny? We've got Cesaro coming out at this point. Another example of
22.
There we go, of the changing kind of landscape of WWE's kind of mid-card to potential main event breakouts. He's got all this American garb on at the moment. Is this after he'd been US champ? I think he was a heel.
He's US champ now, isn't it? He's current US champ.
US champ, okay.
I'm
There we
sure.
go. Okay, right. So great guy at the time there. Great talent at the time even. And had a lot of chances in WWE. It seemed like it was going to go somewhere. But they never quite pulled the trigger with him. Graham Beresford says, great show, lads. I met you outside the Principality Stadium in Cardiff, where you interviewed me and my brother. He had the Mysterio mask on. Hopefully, we'll catch you again at Money in the Bank. Oh, Graham, thank you very much, buddy. Yeah, I remember that. I remember the mask because I remember we were joking about saying
He's lying. He's lying.
I do remember it. I was saying, oh, I'm here with Mysterio. That was it because Dan was hosting back home in London. And yeah, I was there live outside trying to get fans' opinions on it. But yeah, Graham, thank you very much for joining us, mate. And yeah, hopefully we will bump into each other at Money in the Bank. We are going to try and do, as I said earlier, run a lot of content surrounding that event. Hopefully get to interview some WWE superstars for you guys and give you some great insight there. But also general coverage of the event and the goings on there. But also hopefully on the day, like we did in Cardiff, where we got the opinions of the fans outside. So thank you very much for joining us, mate. We really do appreciate it. I remember we kind of plucked you out of nowhere, kind of in the oncoming kind of madness into the stadium. So I really do appreciate the fact that you stopped and spoke to us on the day. And not only that you subscribed and stuck with us as well. Thank you very much, Graham. But yeah, Graham, Johnny, Daniel, everybody that's watching live, anyone that's watching on demand, what do you remember about this Royal Rumble? Is this one that sticks in your mind as a good one? As I said earlier on, I wasn't looking forward to doing this. No, I was looking forward to watch along because they're always fun. By the way, Carly's in the ring now. But I didn't quite remember this show as being a good one. I remembered key things with it, like the Punk and Rock match. I remember who wins this, and that was about it. And because we recently did a watch along of the 2012 Survivor Series, again, only a few months before this one, me and Rob come out of that realizing how poor things were. You know, the state of WWE at the time, didn't we, Rob? It just wasn't a great show. The best thing about it was the Shield, and that kind of symbolizing a change of the guard, I guess you could say. Not quite, but symbolized that would be coming. But what I think we've said a few times already is this show highlights that even more. There are a lot of people on this show who are about to become breakout stars. A lot of people that get held back for a little bit too long. A lot of missed opportunities, and a lot of people that they end up pushing maybe a little bit more than they should have at the time. But guys, let us know what you remember of 2013's Royal Rumble, of course, as we celebrate 10 years since it. What we're looking at right now, of course, is Kane coming out as number 24. We had a fun little backstage segment earlier on with Daniel Bryan kind of not showing each other numbers. Then Daniel shows his, Kane won't show his. So that was quite funny as well. We're in the midst of the great Team Hell No here as well. A few comments here. Oh, yeah, straight after Tesco meal deal. Oh, mate, don't want to shout out too many other companies here, but I've got to say Tesco meal deal is up there as one of the best for me. What about you, Rob? What's your favourite meal deal?
I get it's got to be a Tesco meal deal, isn't it?
I like
however,
Boots do a good one. You know, I don't like Sainsbury's dry sandwiches.
Dry. I'm a bit more bougie than that.
Go on.
And I don't want to blow my own trumpet. However, if I ever go for a meal deal, I'd rather go Subway.
Okay.
Because I get a sandwich that I really enjoy. I can customize it. I get a cookie with it.
Yeah, customizable. Appreciate that.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with Subway. I have a go-to meal as well at Subway, and at one point I was going there so much that the woman knew my order. So,
mate, that's a problem.
That's not good, is it?
So once again, everyone joining us live and on demand, we are covering the 2013 Royal Rumble. It's been a really good stream so far. If you are joining us late, feel free to catch this up on demand, where we keep bringing up we got now height of the hype around sort of the dip. Actually, we've had the dip started with Zack Ryder here as well, number 25 there as well. But anyway, let's get to a few more of these comments. We got Johnny Black says, guys, I feel like Cody is going to win the Royal Rumble to challenge for the Universal title in night 2. Rollins and Roman for the WWE title might be the main event for night 1. Rollins and Roman. Wow, I've not heard. Okay, we're all over the place. On the 2013 thing, Kane's just been eliminated by Daniel Bryan. In 2023, your comment about Rollins is very interesting, mate, because I haven't heard that yet. Jumping back again in time, Kane has just caught Daniel Bryan here, and he's saying, please put me back in. Kane's not happy about that. I remember this spot, actually. I do remember this. Fans are so into it. Again, we mentioned earlier on, guys, about doing a possible stream about picking our favorite and least favorite odd couple teams that are just thrown together. Because a lot of times it works when it shouldn't. That's a tough bump there for Daniel Bryan onto his back. But Kane kind of lets him slip. Yeah, going back to your point, Johnny, we're going to be covering the Rumble in depth on this channel, of course, with our prediction show, with our build-up on the night of the event, and our recap and review the day after as well. But we did already talk a little bit about this a little while ago, didn't we, Rob, when we were talking about, as was mentioned earlier on, actually, the WWE coming to Money in the Bank. Coming to London with Money in the Bank. We talk about it a little bit on there, and also talk about more so on this kind of video that we did on the channel as well, talking about Cody Rhodes' return as well. But yeah, I haven't heard anyone mention Rollins. That's an interesting point there. Have you heard that yet, Rob?
No, but I have a theory. I have like a plan.
Should we hold up on this until we do our Rumble stream?
If you want. I won't forget it, don't worry.
Because it might be a bonus point.
Oh, no. It's nothing to do with Rumble.
We'll be doing a predictions and preview for this year's Rumble either way. So check out our stream for that in about a week's time. Let's get back to a few more of these comments. On the screen right now, we've just had Randy Orton arrive. He's about to do his double, a DDT from the rope, a double version this time. Hits it on Dolph. And who's that on? Is it Bo?
I think so.
RKO to Ryder there.
Randy was on fire at this point by the look of it.
Who was?
That's a tough.
That was a rough elimination there from Ryder.
Do you know what that reminds me of? Do you remember the 2000 Taka Michinoko?
Oh yeah, that was worse. Don't get me wrong.
One of my favorite eliminations, and he wasn't even in the Rumble.
It's harsh. What was your favorite? The guy could have died. Johnny Black says, I feel like this Rumble was decent, but there was other ones a lot better than this. Yeah, exactly that, Johnny. I think looking back on this has been a really fun show. Better than I remembered. But the fact is I didn't remember much about it because I think it kind of did get lost in the shovel. But watching it back, pretty good Rumble. But I can't believe I don't want to say small because I'm not exactly massive. But Jinder looks very small there. I know they all kind of hyped up when he came back and become world champion, just how much muscle he'd put on. But it's really
same as McIntyre, isn't it?
McIntyre as well, yeah. But I think Jinder more so. Anyway, either way, crazy change for 3MB members there. But yeah, Johnny, great Rumble so far. I've really enjoyed this. But yeah, like you say, I think it weren't as good as the ones around it. I think 2011 was really good because of all the returns. And go on, Rob, what was you going to say?
It feels very mid-card heavy. I know a lot of Rumbles are. There's not a lot of like main
guys. At the end where you get the big stars, isn't it? Which we are seeing at the moment, with Randy Orton coming in. Cena hasn't been too far behind that.
In there. Jericho.
Bryan also says Jericho's been there for ages. We didn't have Sky TV, so I didn't watch a lot of WWE for years. Me and my brother only watched Mania every year, though. But the Rumble is my favorite event of the year. Really interesting. A lot of people say that about the Rumble because it is just so fun, isn't it? I mean, I can't move away from WrestleMania being the best because even when it's disappointing, it's still exciting, around it. Yeah. But the Rumble, same sort of thing. It's like, what people say about pizza. There's no such thing as a bad pizza. It's kind of like there's no such thing as
I've had a few bad pizzas.
No, man, it's still pizza, man.
It's still pizza, though,
it's still pizza, though. So it's still better than most meals. Even a bad pizza is good, but still, it can be bad within the context of pizza. I think the Rumble's the same. You can come out of it being disappointed with who's won.
What's the rivalry with Miz and Cesaro?
Something big going on between Cesaro and Miz here, which I don't really remember.
Oh, even the cameraman got confusing.
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
Oh, okay. Right, they didn't show that, which is a bit of a shame. They should have.
They showed the injury happen.
All right. Okay, I thought that was on SmackDown.
Have you been watching the same?
Mate, I don't know. I'm all over the place. And let's get to another comment here from Johnny, who says, if I might add a prediction, I believe that last rock and roller Jay White is going to be at the Rumble. Oh, big one there. Now, Jay White's a speculation, as many of the New Japan guys are, because their contracts tend to run out in January. So you always get Rumble speculation because of that. After the Wrestle Kingdom, all the kind of hype they get around that. And then we move into Rumble season. It's inevitable. But you could be right, mate. And hey, I love Jay White. I think he's fantastic. If you do get some time, guys, I know the event was a little while ago now, but we did cover New Japan's Wrestle Kingdom on this channel as well. So feel free to go back and check that out again if you do get a bit of time. For anyone that's watching on demand or live, much appreciated, guys. Whether you're commenting or not, we really do thank you for joining us on this channel. We are the Rebellious Noise Pro Wrestling channel. a kind of offshoot of the main Rebellious Noise network, where we cover football on one channel, wrestling on another channel, film and TV on another channel. So we've got a lot of channels here. I keep saying channel there for Rebellious Noise.
This
so
is
we
the
appreciate
first
you joining us
Sin
on the wrestling channel. Sin Cara. Which version of it?
It's the original.
Yeah, you can tell.
Yep. Can you
Did
not?
one of them have a tattoo, or did the original just get a tattoo?
Honeycomb had the tattoo.
Okay. Sin Cara.
And he's skinnier.
Who's 30? Who's 30? Do you remember? Who's missing?
Bro, I don't even remember.
Oh, I know it's Ryback.
Oh yeah, of course.
Again,
I do have a question though.
Ryback was huge at this point. Go on.
So, I mean, hopefully he's still here. You put up that Graham said they didn't have Sky TV.
Yeah.
Which makes me question. And obviously, you see him at Clash, right?
Oh,
so
big moment
it must be UK based, right? So if he is, did he ever watch the? Do you remember when Channel 4 used to play the pay-per-views?
Yeah.
In the early 2000s. I wonder if he ever tuned into any of them, because we spoke about this quite a lot. They had a lot of them shown on Channel 4.
Yeah, well, I guess it depends what era Graham gets into WWE. If it's around this time,
true, yeah.
No, because it would have been 2000 that we saw that.
It would have, yeah,
2000. And they had Sunday Night Heat as well. I remember watching Sunday on Sunday with my roast dinner, watching Heat, especially the one where Triple H faced Hardcore Holly for the title, a big time match. That was what a lot of wrestling fans of that era who maybe didn't have Sky would have really gravitated towards. I remember specifically playing SmackDown 2. I'm pretty sure it would have been SmackDown 2. Okay, Barrett pulls out Bo here. It might be SmackDown 1, but I think it was SmackDown 2. Pausing it, turn the channel over to Sunday Night Heat to watch it. It wouldn't have been nighttime, it was in the afternoon for us. I guess it's weird that, but a taping, isn't it? It must have been a tape show, but it was actually on Sunday and it was within the thing. So it was like, we must have got earlier than the people in the States, when it was at that stage at least. Because at first it was kind of in SmackDown spot for a bit, wasn't it? Before SmackDown existed.
I think so. Didn't it used to be Jax before then, didn't it? Or was it after?
That was a different show.
Was that a different show?
Yeah, Jacked. Here we go. Feed Me More. Ryback's coming out. Yeah, Jacked, Metal, Superstars. They were like
Metal. I remember Metal. Yeah,
which all turned into Velocity and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, Heat was exciting. I remember watching the behind the scenes of the Run DMC DX music video as well on Heat as well, which was really cool. Johnny Black also says the match I love from Royal Rumble pay-per-view was Rollins Lesnar Cena match of the night for sure. Mate, that was so good. I can't remember what year
that was. Good, man.
15, 16, something like that. That was a great match. One of my favorite triple threat matches, and favorite matches for I think all three of those guys. Amazing how well that triple threat worked together. Especially back then, because it was exciting seeing Seth work with Brock, because Brock usually works with a real kind of core of people. It's moved away from that in the past few years, but back then it was really different to see Brock and Rollins work together. Ryback has just thrown out Sin Cara, by the way. A few comments here from Graham, maybe asking your question there, Rob. I did remember the first couple of pay-per-views came in at 1 a.m., but then they started putting them on an hour later so they could edit it. That's a good point, yeah, because they put on Royal Rumble, ironically, 2000, where, we saw a code breaker there from Chris Jericho. Royal Rumble 2000, where the Cat and Mae Young both show off a little bit too much skin for the liking. So they that kind of ruined that relationship as far as I'm aware. And then Graham says, I also remember Heat on Sundays and the ads during the pay-per-views. That was a good point. Mate. They used to put those ads on. I remember exactly what the indent used to look like. Ziggler holding onto the rope. It was a picture of Big Show, I think, choke slamming someone. The Big Show had long hair with a ponytail. You remember? Dude, that was the graphic in it. Like when it went to the ad. It's funny the stuff you remember. But Jericho's gone now, by the way. Ziggler's just knocked out Jericho. I think at this stage, I would have assumed that the winner was going to be.
I think, to me,
I know who I would have wanted it to be.
Yeah, the way they've built it so far.
Or Ryback.
Exactly what I was about to say. Yeah. Literally what I was about to say. Because they've built him so much. Do you know what it feels like again? Do you remember when we had Ziggler have this big old this thing at Survivor Series? Like he was the lone survivor, all this push. like, and it just felt like it had disappeared.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
Obviously, at this moment in time, is Money in the Bank, but
yeah, exactly. So you can make that. So I'll get into it now. I've alluded to it a bit throughout the night, but I really thought Ryback should have won this. We'll get to that in a little bit because I got a little quick comment here from Graham. Big Show choke slamming Mankind. Was it Mankind? Let me see if I can quickly find this. Channel 4 WWF. I don't know how to do it without watching the clip. I don't want to do that just yet. So see if I can just find it in Google Images. Oh, it hasn't come up. We'll find out. It might be Mankind though, buddy. You might be right with that one. But yeah, so here we go. We've got about 5 of them left at the moment. Well, looks like 4 because Randy has just been eliminated. Guys, here we are on the stream, 1 hour 53 and 35 seconds. If you want to join us to watch this last bit of the Rumble match before going into The Rock versus CM Punk. Great DDT there from Dolph Ziggler. But we are at the final 4. Dolph Ziggler, Sheamus, John Cena, and Ryback. I can't remember who goes out first out of Sheamus and Ziggler, but I know the last 2. Yeah, there we go. So Ziggler, fantastic bump there. Big cheer though. Big cheer.
That's what I was about to say. That's confusing because I don't remember him getting that much of a cheer. Like I know he did.
Few boos in the background there though. I think acknowledgement of Ziggler being gone. But
yeah, but don't forget he's still Money in the Bank. But I guess that's not
exactly.
running for your head at that moment in time.
And of course, a big moment. We said it earlier on happens the night after WrestleMania. Now this. I go back on it, and I said it in the intro. We mentioned it on the description to kind of talk about this this stream here. But I think this was a crossroads in the future. Most of this show, we've said it a lot throughout the night. Main eventers, mid carders that become main eventers, but also this period where they just felt like they weren't quite ready. They didn't push. They do what they do to CM Punk later on. And they do what they do to Ryback here, which, again, I know people look back on differently now. People try and act like Ryback was never as over as he was. Trust me, he was over. Whether or not you like him now or kind of weren't to your taste even back then, he was used quite well. And I think he should have been, and he could have been more. And I think he should have won this Rumble. I remember being very, very disappointed that John Cena won it, especially because it led towards the obvious main event to WrestleMania. Look, don't get me wrong. I was so privileged to watch The Rock live and so privileged to watch The Rock versus John Cena, but especially because it was meant to be once in a lifetime and they did do the repeat match, and I'm thankful that they did because it meant I got to see it. But at the same time, storyline wise and for what it meant for the future of the company, I was very annoyed for Punk and was very annoyed for Ryback. I mean, look at this excitement here. Ryback getting that clothesline there. Yes, John Cena's a babyface, but this is still kind of in the era of Cena shoved down your throat. I'd started to move away from that at this point. I've said it countless times on this channel that I really got into. Well, you hate the where he stomps around.
I love the move, but I hate the stomping, like the margin thing. It just it didn't make any difference to the bloody move, did it?
No, I guess it's just a way to differentiate yourself and have a bit of a signature. It's a bit like Drew's countdown, which again, I hate, but I get.
Yeah, but he hasn't done anything. I mean, the way I used to look at it is if Ryback had him up and he was about to do the drop,
he would have,
just running quick. So it's more impactful.
He would have done it, exactly.
I don't
rather than getting reversed. But yeah, anyway, so Ryback, I was really disappointed. I know it doesn't quite. We said it earlier on. This is probably the peak. This is the beginning and the end for Ryback in some ways. A real shame. I know Punk doesn't talk fondly of him because of stuff that happened between them and stuff like that. But for me, I always thought that Ryback, I know it's easy to say now, wow, what an elimination that was. Well, went a bit sloppy there, but the momentum and the excitement from the crowd. I sound like the biggest Ryback mark ever. I'm not.
You are. You're marking out for him.
I appreciate what he was doing at the time. It felt
I'm going to get you a Ryback top.
Yeah, feed me more, brother. No, it made sense for me at the time. And it just felt like another example of, no, it's going to be Cena, instead. And it happened with Wade Barrett. It had happened so many times in the years leading up to this. And yeah, really disappointed for me. We're going to get to go on.
It feels like we finally got our new guy, which was Punk, right? And then they didn't want to do another guy. It had to go back to Cena. And that's what it felt like for a lot. And if they did have another guy, it had to be Cena.
Yeah. I mean, look at this, mate. Listen to the Feed Me More chant. How strong that is. Again, he might... maybe you need a bit of tightening up here and there. Maybe some of this could have been better. But I think over the years he did improve. I liked him as Skip Sheffield. I got to say, maybe I'm a big private mark after all. But I liked it, man. I think it could have been much more than it was. A few comments here. Graham says, I found the image. It was Undertaker holding Big Show by the throat. Okay, I was close. There was a choke slam and Big Show was involved. Maybe it weren't Big Show doing the move. But Graham, thank you very much for doing that important research for us there, buddy. Really do appreciate it. Now in the ring, Cena's got
he does more research than we have done.
Hey, we're busy, all right. Don't put us down. I'm sure they appreciate it and understand. But thank you, Graham, nonetheless. Johnny Black says, I think they've made a lot of mistake that year, guys. Like you said, Ryback should have been more, and Punk should have been in the main event. Again, I think you're right, mate. We spoke about earlier on, but they annoyed Punk, and as much as it's strange to say, Taker is a kind of downgrade. Realistically, he was on the run of his life, and he should have been the main event of WrestleMania. But again, I love the match against Undertaker. I'm glad that he got to have a streak match when the streak was still a thing. And I think the storyline, you mentioned it earlier on, Paul Heyman and stuff like that, was fantastic. But yeah, it is what it is. It's a real shame, but I think it definitely sowed the seeds for Punk's disappointment and him leaving. And this is here. So this event, as much as this is a exciting event for like possibly seeing the future in some of these guys, it also does remind us of the missed shots. Do you know what I mean? Misfires here with certain guys that could have been more. And Ryback's a big example here, about to throw Cena out, but no, what do you know? Cena suddenly slides off, and I mean the high-pitched screams are undeniable. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to fall back into not liking Cena, but it's it is one of the best of all time. Don't get me wrong. And I appreciate it a lot. When he comes back now, I'm a little fangirl. I love it.
Yeah, you are.
But
would you be the same fangirl if Ryback come back?
Yeah, I think I would, right? Clearly. But no, the Cena stuff was just, it was too much. It was too much. And sometimes he stepped back and sometimes he didn't. And this was a time where anyway, is what it is. All right. Let's end of the match here. We're going to now move on to the main event. You know what I think we should do, Rob? We're going to stay with the stream, of course, but I think it's only fair if both of us take a little bit of a bathroom break. We've been on here for a little while. I should say a toilet break, really, shouldn't I? We ain't American.
It just sounds more polite saying bathroom break, doesn't it?
It does, doesn't it? I need a slash. All right. So who wants to go first? Me or you? Do you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first.
All right. See you later, mate. I'll take over for a few seconds.
Yeah, go on.
All right. So here we are, guys. Let's get to some of these comments while we're still here. While it's just me, at least you guys are with me. Great point by Johnny, as you said earlier on. You followed it up with Cena versus Rock didn't need to be in the main event again. No reason at all. Plus, it was not even the match of the night at WrestleMania. Yeah, again, I was saying this to Rob earlier on, Johnny. I was privileged enough to be there in person. This makes me laugh. The We Hate Cena guy with John Cena. So it's always like when you are there, like, I don't know if you've ever been able to get there, but like it heightens your experience of the event. So there's that. So it's hard for me to judge what that pay-per-view was really like because I was there. So it's, it's a special moment to me. But I do remember liking a lot about it. But maybe I sent to Rob earlier on. I don't know if you were with us at the time, Johnny, but he was saying, yeah, it doesn't stand out that many as much as maybe it would for others. So, or, someone like myself that was there. But yeah, I would say maybe it didn't need to be in the main event again. But the thing that made it different, I guess, is the fact it was a title match. Because we had already had it. And I hated the fact that they were like once in a lifetime and did it again. But there we go. This is where we are, guys, in the stream at the moment. If you have lost sync or if you're joining us late or anything like that, we're on 2 hours and just about to be 2 minutes. So speaking of which, my stream's just messed up, guys. So I'm about to hopefully jump back in there as well. But here we go. But yeah, it's been real fun, guys, so far. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to hand you over to the capable hands of Roberto as I just head off to have a bog break myself. Now, Rob, while I've been gone, I've just been talking about this comment here. So if you want to kind of chime in on that as well, mate, and I'll see you in just a few seconds.
Yeah.
All right.
Sweet. Can you hear me all right? I do hope so.
I could.
Thanks for that.
All right. See you in a second.
So as we go through the build-up, just so you know, the Rumble was just finished. Cena's just won it. If you have just chimed in, I haven't got the timer. Unfortunately, Scott's running control of it today. But we're 2 hours and 2 minutes, and there we go, 57 seconds. That as he just said he was going to the toilet, and he's still here. But yeah, so Cena and Rock didn't need to be a main event. Do you know what? Honestly, I agree. It's controversial. It's such a controversial thing to say. But obviously, we got the first one, which Rock won, when Cena got too cocky. And it seems like this is that moment where Cena gets his redemption. At the same time, though, one, it didn't need to be for the title. This is a match bigger than... It's one of those matches that is bigger than a title. So in my opinion, it didn't need to be for the title. And then on top of that, did we need to get it straight away? If they want to do it a second one and done, and then the Rock's out, then fine, do it. But it could have been another build. They could have done a whole thing of Cena wanting redemption and made it a whole long program. If their plan was for Cena to win the Rumble anyway, then they could have done that without even happening. But yeah, no, I do agree. It wasn't the best match of the night at Mania. I agree, Johnny. Do you have a favorite match at Mania or for that Mania? Me and Scott were talking about it earlier. I think we are going to do it because we were saying this because it'll be the 10-year anniversary for all of the pay-per-views that we're now talking about, or PLEs now they're now called, that we're talking about. I think we want to try and finish this story arc from Survivor Series where we went all about to Mania. So if we do, obviously that'll come up and that'll be a long one. So that'll probably be another watch along. If you are watching along with us, you can already see the build of CM Punk talking about the Shield and the promo and the Rock fighting off the Shield, which is happening right now. Which, as we said, 2012, not much really happened. This is like 2012, 2013. It's a transition period for the next year to come, which I guess is a better like time frame in wrestling. It's such a strange time. But yes, obviously that's what we were talking about. If you did tune in to our previous watch along at Survivor Series, obviously you'll know how we spoke on the Shield. We do have a separate video on the RN Pro Wrestling channel talking about the rise of the Shield, the breakup of the Shield, and everything in between it, all the way up to where Roman announces that he's got to take time off and stuff, and then when he comes back in remission, all of that stuff. Like we cover all of that on as a separate video, which we covered on our live stream as well. So if you are interested in listening to that or going back and watching that, go back and watch that. Try and do it after the stream if you're still in that wrestling mood, or if we've kept you in that wrestling mood. But I tell you what, the build though for this match, the Rock vs Punk, was such a good promo because the Rock was challenged on the mic. And not many people can do that in the current age. I would say not many people could have done that. Cena, yes. Punk though was just a different breed, and I think that was great because us indie fans, this is what we finally got to see. We finally got to see an indie guy do it, and he was like one of the first. And for me, I absolutely loved it, and I know full well that Scott did. And we spoke about that highly before, so it was a very fun reign. But if you are watching it with us, the Rock's just about to cut a generic Rock promo, and there you go, and the time's up. Do you feel better now? Do you feel like a pound lighter? You're muted, pal. I can't hear you.
I didn't realize I was still muted.
That's all right.
Yeah, I was getting my stream sorted out, but here we go. Rock's doing a promo, as you said.
Mm-hmm.
My network messed up, so again, this is why thankfully we have this timer to help us along. So if you're syncing up, here's your chance. Here's my chance, and I'm in.
Look, I was just saying, look, I love The Rock, the build and everything that we got for The Rock and Punk and all that. But in my opinion, this didn't need the outcome that we get. Didn't need to happen. I feel like we were kind of robbed of it. especially the way it happens as well. I mean, Scott, you said you don't remember what happens, right?
Yeah, so I don't remember how it goes down, but when you were gone, I was just saying a similar kind of thing, that I get the argument that it didn't need to happen again and that it didn't need to be the main event, but that's what made it different about the first one, that there was a title involved, so it felt inevitable to me.
Yeah, but at the same time, this is what I was saying. It's bigger than a title, and
but the first one was. Is the second one? Can you? Why would you do a second one?
So I said I always looked at it as Cena lost the first one because he was too cocky and he was overconfident, right? When he goes to do the second 5-knuckle shuffle, and obviously that's when he goes to the rock bottom pinfall dump, which I love the finish of. But they should have done a redemption of Cena, of him losing his matches, and he has to find his way again. And the only way to do that is to overcome the bigger obstacle, which was the Rock, and made it happen again. I think, to me, that's a better story than him winning the Rumble. Like, for me, because the way the Rock's talking about this promo now is the big baby face, and he'd done this and he didn't have anything, and everyone that believes. That's that promo, and it's the same one that Cena could have done. And then that's how it builds. Because, I mean, I'm sure, I think it was the first, it must have been the first Rock versus Cena, but when it was the once in a lifetime. But they wanted Cena as the heel, and he spoke about it before, saying that they had different music for him, and in the end, they didn't go with it. So one of them should have had to have been heel. Having two baby faces go at it, it just doesn't work.
I guess, again, the only way you can make it work is by giving a different story to it, like you say, or the title and the Rumble, which, again, I'd rather it wasn't that. But
the problem is,
it justifies it within the storyline. But
but it's a waste of two spots, because Punk at this cover, even if we had it as Punk loses, Punk could have lost it to someone else. It didn't have to be The Rock. So Punk could have, just say Punk still dropped it at Rumble 2013, and he didn't drop it to The Rock. And then Cena didn't win the Rumble. That's two spots covered. And then they could have put it in an Elimination Chamber. Cena could have had it, and Rock come back for it then. Like, they could have done. The Rock and Cena again, two of the biggest stars ever in WWE.
If it was the first time, I'd agree with you more. Not that I disagree with you, but I'd be more on that side if it was the first time, because it's so big it didn't need a title, it didn't need the Rumble. But again, the excuse to have the second one, I know what you're saying is an alternative to that, of a Cena redemption story, but I guess that comes into what you're saying there about them both being babyface as well, and it's tough that they probably didn't want to do that to The Rock. And it's like the Brock and Reigns thing, it's overdone. But when the dynamic changed, when Heyman was on either side, or the heel face dynamic had changed and stuff like that, it made that fresh again. So same thing. They could have done that with Rock and Cena, but they didn't. And I think Punk gets the next best thing at WrestleMania with the Undertaker streak. So anyway, we'll like I say, we'll talk about that more in depth if we do WrestleMania 29.
Because that's what I was saying. It'll be nice to finish this. I don't want to call it story arc, but this arc
it would be. I think we should.
Survivor Series to Mania.
Yeah, I'd love to do a little retrospective scene from the point of view of watching it with commentary and stuff like that as well, which again I've never got to do. But so I'm up for that, guys. If you're up for that, let us know as well. It'd be cool to Cookie Puss. I forgot about that. Also, The Rock doing his kind of put your hand out and touch my hand. I forgot he did all that stuff as well. I remember me and Tom used to joke about that a lot. So here we go. Rock, put your hand out, touch my hand.
What's very funny, right, is The Rock says, put your arm out, reach and touch his hand, and feel the energy.
Yeah.
I about 3 years ago, when his Punk was doing a Straight Edge Society and all that stuff, he was literally doing the exact same promo.
He was,
Put your hand out and grab mine, and feel the presence. So it is a very full circle thing, and I remember that Straight Edge Society with Punk was incredible.
Yeah, I see a lot of people with this year's Rumble coming up and sharing a lot of old Rumble clips, and I saw one going around of Punk's Straight Edge Society when he kept going on the mic. He come out with Serena and all that stuff as well. Look,
people volunteering to shave their head, bro. That was I loved it.
Amazing things. All right, let's hear The Rock. Let's hear the.
Wait for the pop. Do you think it would have been a different pop if it was in Chicago?
What do you mean less?
Well, yeah.
People are just so happy to see The Rock. I know he did. He tread that thin line when he came back with being shoved down your throat and too much, you know. But they did it well. They did and I know there was a bit of friction between these two as well in real life, as there must have been.
Mm-hmm.
But then, years later, The Rock calls CM Punk at Raw. Do you remember? And
Yeah.
And all this stuff. So, and I know they've spoken in years since that how they were supportive of each other and good times they did have together in this period. But it's just professionally speaking, it must have been a very difficult thing for both of them. I
think more so for Punk, in my opinion.
Yeah, more so for Punk, because he's seeing this guy come in that he probably appreciates and thinks, you can't take my spot, man. Like, you can't be. And Rock must be thinking, hey, look, I see. It must build resentment between the two of them. Rock must be thinking, look, I'm back to do this, mate. Like, he might appreciate Punk. Then the more Punk moans about it, he might start thinking, this guy, who do you think you are? And then Punk might be thinking, I appreciate The Rock. This guy, who do you think he is coming in taking my spot? So it's a difficult position for them both. But it's good to hear that they're kind of, respectful of each other now as well.
100%.
And since then, and can talk fondly about some of the times that they worked together here. As well. I remember Punk saying that he got given all this stuff and writers and all that, and then when he just spoke to The Rock, it was like, oh, cool, this is what we'll do. You know what I mean? Once everyone got out of the way, he was like, Rock was great to deal with. It was the people around him and all that kind of stuff. But
yeah.
I mean, it's a shame because we got one of the biggest matchups, like a dream match, and it was just to tell another story. But looking at this now, we had The Rock versus CM Punk, like. Mate, that's so cool.
I always feel like the way this should have gone, right? Obviously, you know what happens, right? If you the way it happens, I know you remember loosely, but
yeah, I don't remember the way it happens.
Okay. Look, in my opinion, I don't want to spoil it for you because obviously it's been a while since you've seen it. But
yeah,
it should have ended with the way it happens. Then they should have gone onto Chamber, and Rock should have been in a Chamber, and then won it there. Then that way. Punk lost it in the Chamber, and then we get this match. Do you know what I mean? Like me, I always.
I don't remember how it happens. Yeah, I think Punk straight up losing to The Rock when it was so obvious, and what fans
you're gonna get annoyed. You're gonna you watch it.
Exactly.
I know you're gonna get annoyed.
I'm surprised The Rock was getting so. Looking in hindsight, I think it was just he had so much love from the fans that it was like that we know what's going on here. We're annoyed about what it means for our kind of current guy, but we get it and. We're just privileged to have The Rock back. You got over 7 years not being there. People wanted him back so badly. Like it was probably the biggest return ever. Like the most sought after return. You know what I mean? So because it was so like we didn't know if he'd ever come back. I guess Punk similarly as well. You talk about kind of this being kind of poetic and similarities between the two of them. It's the same thing. Punk. Punk Rock, what a funny term. Punk's return as well. No one knew that was going to ever happen. But here we go. So Rock and Cena about to get underway. Great start, by the way. And the way that The Rock, CM Punk just got in Rock's face there. Really cool. It's one of those examples where the heel's right,
Yeah, and that's not often.
Yeah, they're always interesting when they play it like that.
How big is that tankard?
What? Oh,
you, mate. Would you think of Rock's just walking around with one?
I was like, what are you talking about? What? Yeah, it's kind of big. Let's get up. It's not that. It's not as big as the other one I've got that was shown off on stream before.
That's like quite the size of your head, though.
Yeah, but the other one, I've shown it off on stream. That is like I have to lift it with 2 hands. It's so heavy.
Yeah. Does it hold 1 beer?
I was gonna say, now let's talk about the tankard. Wait. Yeah, it holds Only one. No. It can hold probably just nearly 2.
Oh, okay, that's not too shabby.
As in cans.
Yeah.
40 ml cans. So it's probably 800 ml, I'd say.
For all the alcohol drinkers out there, 800 ml, almost 2 cans.
My other one though is 2 liters.
But who drinks 2 liters of beer in a like?
Yeah, who would do that?
Yeah, you would.
Especially, I've had that more in the build-up shows. It's fun on the build-up shows because, again, if you haven't been with us guys on a build-up show before, they're very exciting. The last-minute breaking news, things like that, wild speculations about the events.
I think the one for us, the one for us that really got exciting was, do you remember the Mania where it was when the weather was just awful, and Samoa Joe was standing there in his raincoat and the Mac.
Oh, Heyman just hit the Rock. Funny now, isn't it, seeing this? Because if the Rock is coming back, Heyman's going to have a big role in this. It's his family. That's how they kind of dig that storyline. Of course, getting in with the bloodline in the first place and Roman Reigns is interesting.
Or the wise man, as Reigns calls him.
The wise man, of course. Yeah, it's a shame because I reckon Heyman might, if that happens, Heyman might acknowledge that he's competing, people going up against Rock before. But
the problem is when they do that,
Punk.
They have to talk about Punk.
Yeah, they
because he's in this.
I reckon Heyman would, and I think it'd be fine. It'd be just business. Heyman might acknowledge that, and say, but he couldn't quite get it done. But you're the tribal chief, and I have faith in you because I gave him advice, but it didn't work. But with you, they could do something like that. I think that'd be quite cool, and they get the internet buzz as well. Guys, we're on 2 hours, 19 minutes, and 29 seconds. Of course, coming up to the 2 hour 20 mark. So if you are watching live or on demand, you've lost your sync or you've just joined us, that's where we are currently on the network as well. So we'll keep this up till it gets to 2:20, so you have some time to join us as well if you're trying to sync up your streaming vibes. Everyone that's joined us live on demand, we appreciate, guys. For those that have commented, the ones that haven't commented, either way, we thank you for joining us. And of course, we hope you subscribe to us here at the Rebellious Noise Pro Wrestling channel. Plenty more watch-alongs coming up. Hopefully, WrestleMania 29. Me and Rob clearly seem excited to do that one. And we've had some in the past. Great interviews with WWE talent. Of course, the WWE is coming here to our hometown of London, so we'll be going deep on that when it does happen in July. And also on top of that, plenty of kind of news coverage and podcasts here on the channel as well. But of course, we're covering the Royal Rumble from 2013. And again, Rob, it's just surreal, really, 10 years out, being like, wow, Rock and Punk had a program together. Like, we're privileged to see this. It was just hard to enjoy parts of it when you knew where it was going, As much as that was fun, seeing Rock and Cena, we'd already seen it. So,
yeah, it's great to watch and know that we got this match and all that sort of stuff. However, save your thoughts on that moment of seeing this happen is great, but I want to know how much your opinion changes on this match after the outcome.
I really don't remember what happened.
It's funny because normally we go into this and you're like, do you remember this? I'm like, no, I don't.
Yeah, it's reverse. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have blocked it out to protect myself.
I wish I could.
Because Punk was my favorite wrestler at the time. Rock was maybe my favorite wrestler growing up. And I went to the next Mania. So I probably just went, let me ignore all the bad things that happen. At this point, though, I think a little insider. Yeah, actually, at this point, I wasn't going to WrestleMania. It was that quick, mate. That quick of a turnaround. But I'll tell the story about that when we do that stream.
Tell it at Mania. Yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
Oh. But yeah, as you were saying, we do a lot of content. The build-up shows are always fun, though. Imagine doing a build-up show if they'd have done it on this. I always feel like, how would our build-up shows have gone for the old WWE pre-shows when they had matches? How different would the way we're talking?
We all had stuff to talk about.
Not that we
don't already. We have loads to talk about. Don't get me wrong. That's the point. That's why it goes so wild. But Yeah, we would have had matches to kind of critique. We probably would have had to gone on an extra hour early to try and fit in all the things that we talk about. But sometimes we still get a build-up show, don't we? With a match, but it's not very often at all.
Sometimes people appear drunk on the stream, which is just unprofessional.
That's you, bro. Mate, you're so unprofessional. I've joined the build-up show from a beach under the Brooklyn Bridge in the back of a pub while our friends were having fun, and I had to sit in the beer garden. Like, come on, mate. That's professional. Huh?
I can't even. The things we do. I can't even remember what. When was it? It was November. Was it a build-up? I can't remember.
What?
When we come on the stream, let me have a look. When I had a few too many drinky poos.
Oh yeah, that was a build-up. Yeah, you were out of it.
And I compared a solo Sikoa to a fart, silent but deadly. Which that's not wrong, is it?
Yeah, we're really good. That was fun. And done a build-up show outside Cardiff, as Graham mentioned earlier on. Outside, well, not outside Cardiff, in Cardiff, outside of Principality Stadium. But yeah. Very different styles here, of course, between The Rock and CM Punk as well, especially with The Rock working. It pretty much works the same style when he come back, but you got to remember he'd been out of the business 7 years. He'd bulked up considerably.
Mm-hmm.
That WWE logo looks so dated, doesn't it?
Yeah.
For some people, I bet they love it because it's nostalgia for them. But for me, it was like, obviously, the one that comes away from the WWF scratch logo, which I guess looks dated still. But
I like the scratch logo. I see it.
Yeah, I love
it.
I could draw it perfectly.
But you know what? I could do that and the Triple H logo perfect.
Okay, yeah.
That's what I'd spent my time doing. But I found I'd have to find it. I'll take it on Twitter. But there's a picture of the different versions of the Raw logo, because obviously we've got Raw 30 coming up, right?
Oh, I saw one of them today. Yeah, 30th anniversary.
It might have been the same one, and it's got the year where it was and stuff like that. That was nice to see.
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully, I'm hoping actually, Rob, that we could do something around the 30th anniversary Raw. So stay tuned, viewers, and me and you, Rob, we'll have a chat off air about what we can do around that as well, because that would be cool to do.
Yeah. So that's always one thing that's really wound me up as well about The Rock, right? His boots.
Well, having a back.
Yeah. Like, I know it's for the calf, right, to show them and it's less restrictive, but it just looks so weird. Like, it didn't irritate you?
I don't know.
Ooh.
I used to like it in his first run, but
I think I'm now more used to seeing kick pads or proper boots or trainers.
Yeah. They look, it's yeah. When you think about it, because they don't even cover fully at the front as well. They kind of curve, just above his shin as well. Look,
yeah,
and the way they strap. But I wonder if at point he's literally gone back to his old boots, or if he got new ones made. Because they look kind of
very shiny.
I remember. Yeah, they do look shiny, but it looks smaller than I remember. And obviously, I think he's got bigger legs at this point. So,
oh,
Rob, looking up to the screen.
That was another weird thing. The shaky leg before he does.
I like that.
I used to love that, especially on the WWE games, because they're over exaggerated that leg shake.
Yeah. I'm kicking my brother like
that. Did you ever drop him with the people's elbow?
Of course. But as I said earlier, don't try this at home.
Yeah. Try at someone else's home so you don't get in trouble.
So Rock getting ready.
Yep.
He's sweating.
Well, he's the most electrifying man of all of entertainment.
Does that mean he sweats a lot, does it? I don't remember him sweating this much in his first run.
It wasn't as electrifying then. Remember that.
Okay, fair enough. Oh, caught to go to sleep. Sweeps the leg as well. Ooh. Into the sharpshooter. Oh no. Rolls through. Oh, that's very sloppy, wasn't it? Oh, okay. Into the
Anaconda Vice?
Anaconda Vice, that's it. Yeah.
Couldn't get that in the UFC though, could he? Couldn't lock it in. He couldn't.
Nope.
Do you think the original run of The Rock from the Attitude Era and stuff, or the run that we get kind of when he comes back and all that sort of stuff against Cena and all this, which one do you prefer? I know it's a question where we get more of The Rock then, but it's a different version of The Rock now. There's more love for him at this point.
Oh yeah, I mean, the return was great because it was the return. But he never kind of had a chance to get going and see what we could really like. He was great every single match from what I remember. He performed very well. I said it earlier on though, he's sweating more here than I remember as well. But you know, that's understandable. I think he's going to get a lot more kind of, and he got injured, of course. You know, so there's going to be these things. But I think generally speaking, he had a very good run, even if it was limited. Stretched over, you know, a year or two though, so that's fair enough as well. He was there at least for a long time, even if it weren't often. But yeah, I mean, I don't think you can compare.
See, that's what I think, but I know people that started watching from this era.
Well, that's why then,
and prefer Rock
that's
like
why.
this. And then
they're ridiculous.
Like, I mean, yes,
because it's all they know. That's all they know. I mean, even if that was the same with me, and I'd watched, which I don't expect them to do, if I'd watched his old run, even though I didn't get the experience and the excitement and the kind of not knowing what's going to happen and the buzz and the way your friends talked about it in school, even if I didn't get that, I'd be ridiculous to say that this run was better than the other, because even by just seeing the stats and the things that happened, like he won the Royal Rumble, he won the title several times. Like the first run was a lot better. But this was fun. And I'm sure people that got into wrestling around this time. But that's good, though. That's a good thing that they actually enjoyed this, because I think it's sometimes difficult as a wrestling fan when they bring someone in. WWE do a good job of going, this guy used to be popular and a big deal, and you believe it. I remember that happened to me when I was a kid. And they did a good job of selling the old kind of version of him. But at the same time, sometimes people don't fully appreciate people coming back because they're like, I never knew the big deal about this guy in the first place. So it's good that they do enjoy that.
Yeah.
Now, I remember this bit because I saw a clip of it recently where they try and do the rock bottom. And it don't go well. No one's fault. Well, not the wrestlers at least. Maybe it's someone in production. Who knows? But
I don't like them tables either. I know they're better. But
you know they're better, but you don't like them. What?
So they break better, right? And you can put them back together, and it's like there was never an issue.
Yeah, they kind of fell apart, don't they?
But the tables from like the year 2000, the Attitude Era tables, bro, they just dented and caved in, and they looked like they were battered.
Oh, these are the ones that just collapsed. Yeah.
And I don't like these. The old ones were not. These
what
are good
now. Then
impact, the same as these.
Is it the same as these? Yeah.
Yeah. So they break on impact. The old ones didn't have any give. It didn't seem anyway.
Yeah. Okay.
I forgot he had the piercing up here.
Piercing where?
Oh. See? That wouldn't have happened with an old table.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Would he have to pierce him? Where? Or eyebrow or something?
Punk on his lip.
Oh, on his lip. Yeah.
I thought that was something that you would have had as well.
I had a fake one. I don't want to actually get it done.
Oh, right. You just wanted the look, not the pain.
Yeah, exactly. I once dressed up as CM Punk fancy dress actually, and I used it for that. Saying that,
I bet you did as well. I bet.
yeah. Mr. Merch over here got everyone's bloody merch.
What do you mean?
I dressed as Punk once. No, twice actually. Oh, there we go. Right bottom on the outside. He still had to get the move in, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Do you know what? If anything, that probably hurt more than them going for the table. Poor
Definitely.
Punk.
Heyman doing good work on, as always, on the outside. They're not showing him as much as they would these days. You know,
No.
he's still doing similar kind of things though. This is a good match though, I've got to say.
Yeah, wait until you get to the end, pal. I'm so excited that you don't remember what happens.
I'm not. I'm terrified though.
I think this was the thing why people didn't like Rumble 2013. Not for anything else, but the ending.
Right. Oh, my stream's just messed up. Ah! Oh, mate. I hope we're not too close to the end. Oh, we are actually. No, about... Okay.
2 hours and 33 minutes in. Or check your timer.
I thought you were saying 2 hours left. I was like, what?
No. It's not that much of a long. It's not a Broadway match. Oh,
all right. There we go.
Great kick there from the. If you want to try and catch your stream up now, Scott, now is the time when both men are down. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm caught up. Okay. Right. So they're both down.
Mm-hmm. I was about to say, we haven't had a Rock nip up yet, or kip up. So it's got to come now, right? Or not.
All right, both up. Okay, guys, if you're like me and you've lost sync or anything like that, you need to catch up. This is where we are on the stream. We're at Rumble 2013 on the network for us here in the UK, wherever you are in the world, or if you've got this on disc, this is where we are on the show at the moment. Hopefully we'll all be able to sync up together if we've lost sync or if you've joined us late here. But yeah, appreciate everyone that has been with us, commenting or otherwise. Thank you very much. At the moment, we've got CM Punk versus The Rock, trading blows in the ring. Getting towards the end of the match, you would imagine. It's a bit like a Superman punch, that, isn't it? Spine buster. Spine on the pine. Here we go. The most electrifying move on its way. I think King messed up that call there. It used to be in Sports Entertainment. Okay, lights gone out. I don't remember this. Is this the Shield then?
Oh, you're ahead of me.
Oh, no. Am I?
Yeah. Just pause it. I'm at 240, 41, 2.
It's your fault, mate. The stream. Look at the stream numbers.
I don't know them.
Yeah, I had to stream for. Okay, so the Shield did get involved because that's what I couldn't remember.
Well, they're saying it's the Shield, but you can't see.
Okay. The referee didn't see it. None of us saw it. Show you stooge. Punk laughing. I like that. See, I like this about Punk because even though he must have personally felt like, I don't want to do this, he plays up to the role. Is he triple bomb then? So you're saying, I wonder if that's ever been analysed. Who actually did it? Or if The Rock just threw himself through the table. Like, I'm just not talking about, whether or not it was someone in the story.
It's one of them mystery things. Do you remember, like, you know what happens in wrestling where you get something that tells a story and it makes no sense, like the Charlotte Flair triple pin thing. It's just one of them, isn't it? A mystery in wrestling.
Had nothing to do with the Shield. Okay. They're all trying for The Rock, to be fair. I mean, I know Punk's the heel, Rock's the babyface, but it's still risky at a time like this. Bigger than DB Cooper. Okay. Wait, Punk won?
Don't remember any of this, do you?
No. So wait, so they've restarted. Did they restart it? I have no memory of this. How long's left? 8 minutes. Ah, they must did they restart it, Rob?
Keep watching. Where are you up to? Do you want to put the timer up? Just so I know that we're on the same.
Yeah, if you want, jump ahead 10 seconds or whatever, and then pause it and come back into it. Because I'm on. Yeah, like pretty much with the timer.
Yeah, you're on with the timer.
Yeah.
I don't know why mine went behind him because we were talking and we were.
Yeah.
I have no idea. Mine will be in time in a second. Let me know when you've got someone coming out.
Should I bring the timer down?
No, keep it up for a sec. I'm at 2:39:09 when I skipped ahead.
Okay.
So I've got to wait to match it up.
Oh, Vince.
Yeah. Go on.
I mean, I guess it's good for the story for the baby. If this was 2000 against Triple H, I'd be screaming my little heart out. I mean,
here he comes with his strut.
To be fair, the fans are cheering.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it's just another one. Like, we knew we were getting Rock and Cena. This could have been Punk. And then, like you said, at the Chamber, is that what you're saying then?
Yep.
It could have, yeah. So Punk could have won. It could have satisfied that kind of, I bet they screw over the champ and CM Punk. And they didn't. But then we get another chance. And of course, inevitably, we all know what's got to happen. But at least it gives Punk the win, then gives Rock the win. I mean, I'm sure there's still people thinking Punk should have been champ going into WrestleMania, but at least we kind of worked on the two together there. But no, they don't, do they? They do this.
Yep. Keep listening. Keep listening.
So that's good at least. So McMahon's about to give him the title. I can't believe I barely remember this. It's starting to come back to me a bit. I like that. I like the fact that the Rock's, storyline. It's a bit like Cena when he stopped Vince against Punk as well. But it's ridiculous though. You can't have him. I guess it all worked for the drama and the fans. But if it was because of the Shield, it should have happened straight after that, not after the free count. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, see, here's the thing. If it's inevitable, I don't mind the fact that they've done this. But what I don't like is the fact that it teased that we could have got another story out of it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like Punk could have been it still. So that's what I don't like. And I imagine I would have been the same 10 years ago. Because it can only be one thing from here. Do you know what I mean? As well.
Mm-hmm.
Elbow drop on the Rock. Flops like a fish. Like, you're just delaying the inevitable. Like, and again, that's what this match felt all along, didn't it? You know, I said, like, it was all about giving it to the Rock.
Yep.
But I guess you could argue that the Punk is protected a bit here because he can say, well, I beat him. Do you know what I mean? Maybe this is what
Kind of.
Punk as a person might have been like, well, if I'm going to lose, I'm not, can we do some sort of shenanigans because I'm a heel where technically I should have won and there you go, people that way. But I was going to say earlier, King messed up that thing in all the sports when it's meant to be all of entertainment. 1, 2, 3, yeah. It's inevitable, isn't it? Like, it is what it is.
But if this was going to be the result anyway, The Rock becoming the WWE champion, they could have done at Chamber, made these two the last two.
Yeah.
The Shield couldn't get involved. There's no way to get in and out of the Chamber once they're in there. It's locked, and have this as the last two. Have them start, battle everyone else, and then
even that's a stronger thing for Punk as well because he had to face 5 other people.
Exactly. Like it. That is, and this is what infuriates me about this whole, not even the pay-per-view, but this whole thing of, because now we get this. So now we already know after this is John Cena versus The Rock.
Yeah.
But the end of Royal Rumble, we know full well is Cena's going against Rock because he ain't picking Alberto Del Rio, is he? Because Cena has something to show. He has to redeem himself. So we know where this is going. So, and this is what I'm saying. That is what annoyed me about the way this was all done. So, and I hate it. I hate the way it was booked for that.
Yeah, no, again, like you say, it's just the inevitable that you kind of deal with, but it still could have been done better. Yeah, I guess you're right. I mean, maybe we should cover Chamber as well, saying that, because if there is still a Chamber event this year, I know they're talking about shaking up the calendar. But if there is, maybe we'll do that. We were just going to do the big ones. But Chamber's kind of a big one anyway, so it's exciting. But yeah, I like things about it. I like the fact that if you're going to do it this way, it's kind of clever, the Shield stuff. That you had the moment of Punk, but then that takes away, and that's what's annoying about it.
Yep.
And then Rock changes the title, doesn't he?
Yeah, it's on Monday Night Raw.
What, after this?
Yeah.
Wow.
Which feels like they had it planned anyway. The whole thing was change the title, have it, but it's just like he's going to.
But then it seems more obvious when they do it on the night as well. When they go, "Here's a new title tonight," it always feels like someone's going to win.
Yeah. Because at this moment, the spinner isn't spinning, right? And then when Rock cuts his promo and unveils the new title, he spins the WWE logo. So they took it and made it go back to the spinner.
Oh, right, yeah. It's slightly crooked, but I think that's just the way, But it wasn't designed to spin like it used to be. It used to fall all over the place at this point, didn't it? So, yeah. Wow. I mean, but as a kid, a childhood Rock fan, can't not be happy about the Rock winning the title again and Rock being back, and someone that went to the Mania being excited to see the Rock in a main event against Cena and all that. But at the same time, to take that those kind of rose tinted glasses off of it, it is still is and was and disappointing.
What confuses me though is everyone's happy for the Rock to do it, right? The Rock comes back, beats Punk, becomes a WWE champion and all that. It's fine. Then he goes away. But when Lesnar done it, he's got a part-time champion. The Rock was no different. So why is it a double standard?
Yeah, that's the thing. It was kind of there. So that's the show, guys. By the way, we'll stick around now to kind of give a mini review of it. It was kind of like that because it was mentioned by Cena. It was mentioned by Rock, but I don't remember the fans feeling because it's the Rock. I know what you're saying. It is hypocrisy, but it's the Rock. As much as I was excited to see Lesnar back, and I still think
would there be more hypocrisy?
Hey. But yeah, no, it was just a messy ending, really, wasn't it? You know,
I think that's why people hate that pay-per-view because of the way it ends.
But within, if you're gonna book it that way anyway, it's not terrible in that sense. If you accept it's coming, because I remember feeling disheartened coming out of it, but I think it was more about the Ryback thing. But because I say all the time, I think Rumble winner needs to be someone breaking through into the main event. And he'd been in the main event. He'd faced Punk, of course, when we covered the Survivor Series one. But yeah, disappointing ending to it. But other than that, I thought it was a good show.
The show itself was good. I just hate. Or do you know what they should have done? They should have just done it as Vince shouldn't have come out. They literally should have just done it as Rock. He rolls Rock back in. It goes to do the 3 count. Rock kicks out. I would have rather him kick out.
Again, it gives the false hope to the fans that, but they're not thinking that way. They're thinking everybody hates the heel CM Punk and everybody likes the face Rock. So and they think this trap so many times with Cena as well, where they gave false hope to the people that I guess the smart fans or the indie fans or the fans of the heels. You know what I mean? The adults. But it wasn't as bad because of The Rock and he's such a beloved figure. But yeah, it was. I still feel like it was an interesting way to do it, and that again, it is hypocrisy, as you say. But it's more the annoyance of, like you say, Punk could have won it, and then they could have took it away from at a later date, which I think would have been a better thing to do. Especially because this is one of the best reigns in WWE history. I know now they're probably trying to, move away from that.
Was it 435 days? 34 days?
Yeah. Or is it 434?
I think it's 434, which is the longest title in the current age. It was the longest reign, and then people were saying Lesnar done it with the Universal, and I was thinking, well, it's a different title, so he didn't break.
Really have that long. I know. I mean, you can say Reigns now.
Reigns is I'll double check for you, but I'm sure.
Yes, it did leave a bit of taste in the mouth, and it was more for me. All I remember was the fact he lost it, and that was disappointing. But I understood it, and now seeing the ending again, it is more disappointing. But again, it's easier to get over because it's The Rock. It's The Rock as WWE champ for the first time in ages, going to WrestleMania. But again, as many times as we said, certain people don't need certain spots, don't need titles, don't need Rumble wins and stuff like that. And that's what this pay-per-view did. It gave the Rumble to someone that didn't need it, and it gave the title to someone that didn't need it for a storyline that you could argue didn't need it. Although I said earlier on, it makes the story different from the first match. I definitely get where you're coming from. So yeah, when you add 3 of those things together, it can definitely feel like a real kind of disappointment. And when you're taking away from Punk's reign as well, it's not a great way to end such a momentous reign.
Yeah. So Lesnar held the Universal Championship for 504 days.
Wow.
Won it on April the 2nd, 2017.
Yeah, but that was it. So you said about the part-time champ thing. That was the thing. It was part-time champ while sorry, part-time while he was champ. Whereas Rock, he only held it for a few months, right? So
yeah, but so The Rock not being there, coming back, making everyone jump and pop for a minute, right? Done what? What did it do to the title? Because he handed it off to Cena. Yeah, and that was it.
Well, exactly what
he had no credibility to it. Did he? I don't even think. Did he defend it? I don't even think he defended it.
I don't know, because that's what I think we maybe should do Chamber, because I don't remember what happens at Chamber. I think I know who wins the Chamber because that's the person that goes on to face Del Rio. But just disappointing in that front. I think. Yeah, they could have done better, especially ending such a historic reign for CM Punk. I feel like it was really unfair for that. It was a victim of bad timing, really. And that again, I could see the argument that it didn't need to title. And like I said earlier, it was all about, for me, Ryback should have won the Rumble. And then, so if in my perfect world, as as someone watching it in 2013, as this guy over here on the right hand side in the Ninja Turtles hat. I think I would have been thinking, as far as I remember, I guess my solution would have been that Ryback wins the Rumble and goes on to face. Well, it would have been either Del Rio or Punk. Punk would have made most sense at the time. They would have just had that feud. And I know, again, Punk from hearing what he says on the podcast, and that doesn't sound like something he would have been happy about. But maybe just being back in the main event, he would have been happy about. But yeah, Ryback going on and then winning the title at WrestleMania, it could have been a completely different scenario, because like you said, the title kind of gets held hostage in a storyline that doesn't need it between two legends. I know Cena's still very much part of the company at the time, but none of them needed the title.
This is what I was saying to you earlier. When you said like, oh, because the first one wasn't for the title, the next one had to be for the title. But now you're talking about it, it didn't need to be for the title.
Because the title it doesn't need to be, but I understand why it makes it different. But they could have done something different, like what you said, yeah. But I understand why they did it. So it's tough. If you're talking about the future of the business, it was a short-term fix for a long-term problem, really, where they didn't make a new star in Ryback and they damaged Punk's reign. You could argue, how could they damage a reign that was still so important and so big?
Yeah,
it could have been better. And if Ryback beat him for the title, imagine what they would have done for Ryback. He would have been the world champ. And again, I know in hindsight now, people can go act like Ryback's a joke and he should never have been in that position anyway. At the time, he was massively over, and it could have been more. He could have done something more for his career. He could have got, what people don't like about him, he could have improved. Who knows? But I was receptive of like his character and the work he had done already to improve, and I thought it was going in the right direction for him. The fans were really behind him, and I think Ryback could have won the title at WrestleMania, and therefore you would have made a star in someone win the title. Never ever got to win a title after that, and his career kind of dipped off after it. You would have rounded off CM Punk's reign a little bit better. CM Punk would have been in the WrestleMania main event. He would have been a happier performer for that. I don't know if he would have been happy losing the title to Ryback, but that's another situation. And then Ryback would have been made even more of a star by ending this massive reign. We talk about now with Roman Reigns, who's going to end that? Again, if you're watching in the future, you might know that. But as we currently talk about this on the 15th of January, 2023, we don't know. But we always say it needs to be someone important, So... Yeah. And it will make a star, same as the streak, and as shocking as the Brock thing was, I think it's 99.9% of fans think it should have been someone else. So, but then again, there's the argument of it. Yeah, but it was a shock and it was a great moment because of that. So, but hey, that's another conversation for another day. But it's a similar kind of thing in the sense that there was an opportunity here to build a star in Ryback, and they've kind of pleased their biggest star at the time in Punk. They kind of shot themselves in the foot with both of them. And that's why I think this pay-per-view is such an interesting one for the future of WWE. Again, as we said so many times already, with the people on the undercard and the Royal Rumble itself, it showed off people that were about to carry the company, regardless of some terrible decisions. And it showed the people they put faith in that were, they were paid with, people they put faith in that they were let down by, people that they should have put faith in, but they didn't, and the company had let down. And then on the other side of it, you've got a main event scene that they've completely thrown together, and they are luckily brought out of it by the likes of Daniel Bryan, by the likes of the Shield, by the Wyatt family kicking off as well, So very lucky in that sense. But the way they're booking things at this moment in time doesn't reflect 2014 or 2015, does it? It doesn't.
No,
it doesn't scream future of the business.
It's very as I was saying. Well, I think I said it when you went to the toilet. It was such a transitional period, and we said this on the last PLE that we watched, both of you, which was Survivor Series, where this was the build of the new guys that were coming in, or the guys that were there that were getting ready to take that next step. I don't want to say grab the brass ring, but that's where they were. They were in that position of stepping up, as you said. Shield, the Wyatt family, even Randy Orton. He then pushes himself forward again. Triple H is involved. Obviously, we get the controversy at SummerSlam. If you remember what that is with Daniel Bryan, and that's when Cena gets his injury with when he's got the I think it's his bicep or his tricep was down by his elbow. So we get all of that stuff and this big build, and obviously this is the big build to Daniel Bryan and all. So there's a lot of stuff that happens from now for the next 2 years that really changes.
Yeah, and a lot of organic stuff that they kind of fall into, like the Daniel Bryan one. They try to resist it,
And this was before the
Yeah, exactly. But who knows why they didn't do the Ryback thing? Maybe they know something we don't. We weren't around it. But
I don't know. It would have been interesting. Imagine if Ryback, let's say, for example, because Ziggler went for the World Heavyweight Championship, right? As we know, against Del Rio. So if Ziggler hadn't have been injured, what if Ryback had gone for the World Heavyweight Championship?
Injured when?
So Ziggler gets injured, right? He cashes in, then gets his injury.
Oh, I thought you meant like before he won it. Okay, yeah.
Oh no. So he cashes in, then he gets his injury.
Right.
And he it kind of gets left in this really cluster of mess with Del Rio and Swagger.
I don't even remember who beat Ziggler. I don't remember. Yeah.
So we have that mess. So imagine if they needed someone else and they were trying to push someone at that moment as a babyface star, Ryback would have fit into that.
Still had that opportunity then. Yeah.
But obviously we don't get it. But The Rock held the WWE Championship for 70 days, right? And in those 70 days, other than him unveiled a new championship, he done nothing to elevate it. And then people moan.
Yeah, when he built a new star, he kind of, and again, not a dig on The Rock, who knows the politics behind it, but you could look at it and say, in that time, he buried the biggest, freshest up-and-coming star in Punk. And
don't forget, he was a heel at the time, and he didn't want to go heel for The Rock. Like Cena was in merchandise sales. In merchandise sales, Punk was probably making stupid money.
Yeah,
because obviously he was the babyface.
So that happened with Punk, and then with Cena, he doesn't exactly make a star. Gets back his
parcel of the torch.
But
I mean, I get the parcel of the torch, but shouldn't that have been done
the year before,
the first year?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It just seems like there was a lot of what if he won? So they ran off a what if scenario, and there was like, we'll make that what if come to life in a second. Again, a wasted spot for Rumble, a wasted spot for someone to push Punk and elevate Punk. Right, The Rock and Cena have a better story arc as Cena's redemption than it would have been, because okay, great, Cena wins the title and that pushes up his title reigns, but what else did that achieve other than Cena being a 16-time world champion?
Yeah,
it didn't make any difference.
I have no memory of who beat Cena either.
I know who beat Cena because I remember. Do you not remember?
No.
Do you want me to spoil it, or do you want to wait?
Go on, who beat Cena?
It was Daniel Bryan.
Oh, is that the SummerSlam thing?
Yeah, that's the SummerSlam thing. And then Randy Orton comes out.
Yeah, because Triple H
pedigrees him, Randy Orton. So Daniel Bryan wins it. And
2013. I thought it was 2014.
No, it's 2013.
Oh, of course, because 2014 is WrestleMania 30, and okay.
Yeah. So that's that build, because then he gets his because Bryan gets his redemption later this next year.
Daniel Bryan started wearing the beard is here over the champions here.
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay. Right, now I'm getting it. So it's starting to patch up, but then, it's so mad how the thread is there in it to build that next star on Daniel Bryan. They still aren't fully sure.
I know, and at this point in time, Bryan and Kane are hot as anything. Right, are on fire. Excuse the pun. Right, and what do? They let The Rock take it. I don't understand it. They could have had. They could have done it, and then they could have dropped it at Elimination Chamber. Punk moves on to something else and goes from there. Because then we get the feud with CM Punk versus The Shield. When he starts saying there's cracks in the Shield, and I'm better than this person, and this person's better than this person in the Shield. And that builds up. And I think we spoke about that at Survivor Series. So much happens in this time period. And, 2 years, 3 years later, Punk's gone.
Yeah, that's it. And like I said earlier on, this is like the beginning of the end, I think, for Punk.
This is beginning. Yeah, it's literally the beginning of the end of Punk.
Which is, you can say, it was kind of already there from the thing that led on to his big kind of moment anyway, with Money in the Bank. Whether or not, however much that was real or not, and whatever else, of the pipe bomb. But that happens. He gets what he wants. But then they do this, and then the Royal Rumble happens the next year.
Yeah,
and that's it.
Do you know what? Obviously, I know a lot happens with wrestling. It moves on a very quick scale, especially for what's happened, right? But in a time from Cena losing the title from Punk losing the title at this current time in 2013 from The Rock, he goes through feuding with The Shield, feuding with Ryback and Paul Heyman, because you have the whole Paul Heyman term. So he does Undertaker first, then The Shield, and then Ryback, and then he's gone.
Yeah, Kane takes him out of the Rumble, innit? That's the proposed feud.
And at that point, Kane is corporate Kane. and he's with the Authority, so we have the Authority there as well.
Hmm.
Bro, the whole thing changes in what, 2 years? Shield are no longer together.
Yeah. Well, like we said before on the thing where we were talking about the Shield, yeah, it was amazing what they did in such little time.
I think
then,
it was
yeah,
18 months, wasn't it?
Yeah, for Punk to be gone within a year, you could definitely see why this is the beginning of the end for Punk. It's the beginning, and that's it. They're the two things that we say about this show. We've talked about Punk and Ryback, and it is the beginning of the end for both of them.
Well,
and
it's the beginning of the end for Ryback in Survivor Series, because after he didn't win, that was the beginning of the downfall. Then he didn't win Rumble.
He could have won this. They still had an opportunity here.
Yeah.
But those
after the Rumble,
people start to not care as much because they can't buy into a guy that's not winning. There's no reward in it. Same thing happened to Ziggler. That's why Ziggler's not seen as same way as he was before. So because they did it again with Survivor Series, we mentioned it all the time. We mentioned it earlier on this stream as well. Lone Survivor. That was the last time people really, really cared about Ziggler. Not so he's not a great worker. He hasn't had great feuds, great matches. But let's be real, no one expects him to win the title anymore, So no one's rooting for him to win the title. No one's going into the Rumble going, I hope this is Ziggler's year.
You say that?
Mate, unless you're a massive fan of Ziggler personally, like you have a Twitter dedicated to him and you fancy him or something, like that's it. Like that's just not happening anymore.
No, you say not in Raw or SmackDown, but he was the NXT champion last year.
Oh yeah, okay, but it's not okay.
But obviously, I know in comparison it's different. But
I like that as well. It's not what I'm saying.
Yeah, but he was still a world champion within WWE in 2022. Like obviously it wasn't the big push.
But there's a time when everyone else the NXT title as sort of equal. But come on, let's be real. But anyway, it is what it is. Either way, man, as much as this reminds me of the bad things about to come in the WWE, and things they were forced into that were good, and things that they missed out on that we'll never know if they would have been good or not. It still was a really good show. Again, it was a lot better, in my opinion, a lot better show all round than Survivor Series. That really highlighted some of the problems for me in that pay-per-view, I should say, back then. Of course, we went in depth on the Shield talk as well on this channel, as Rob said earlier on. But yeah, you've been watching our Royal Rumble watch along, and as you said there, like we've done Survivor Series, we've done Royal Rumble. It would only make sense now to lead into WrestleMania season with that Mania watch along as well. So if you're interested in that, subscribe to check that out. We might end up doing the Elimination Chamber if we can kind of fit that in, and if it seems to kind of flow that well, because I'm sure we missed probably TLC or something between these two anyway. But either way, that's not really something seems to be going forward anymore. So with that in mind, of course, want to say thank you very much to Rob for joining me today. Really do appreciate it, mate. And everybody that's watched on demand or watched live, those that have sent comments in, and those that haven't as well. Either way, we do appreciate you joining us here as well. Of course, as of today, 15th of January 2023, we do have this year's Royal Rumble to look forward to. A little bit of coverage on this channel already about that, and the fact that looks like The Rock is coming back, so it's going to be interesting to see that. I mean, I know we could be having the same conversation again if The Rock wins the Rumble, because as excited as I am to see The Rock back, I don't think he should win the Rumble. We've got Cody Rhodes here as well, possibly coming back. Well, it seems a lot more likely just because it's in the poster, but we've got electricity there as well, hinting towards The Rock. So if you're watching this in 6 months' time, it might be funny to look back and say, well, look, Rock didn't come back, but maybe he does. Then we got predictions and preview podcast coming up on this channel as well, so stay tuned for that. And on the night of the event, as always, as we said earlier on, we get kind of down and dirty and talk about all the happenings since our preview and predictions, including the Go Home show and all the rumors surrounding the Royal Rumble, which is a really fun one, Rob, because, of course, the rumors are crazy for the Rumble because they are it's the biggest rumor mill, isn't it? That and WrestleMania because of the returns and things like that.
I didn't even realize Brock Lesnar was on that poster. I was too busy looking at everyone else. I didn't even realize Lesnar was in that picture.
Well, he is, and I'm sure he'll be there for a payday. Either way, then of course the day after it, we'll be talking all about that with the recap and review here on the channel as well. But we've been doing the Royal Rumble watch along, and we really do appreciate you joining us again. If this is your first time, or if you've been here plenty of times before and you know the drill. Either way, we appreciate the support. So, yeah, once again, I've been Scott. He's been Rob. Rob, you got anything you want to say before we get out of here, mate?
Now I'm going to go and eat my lasagna now.
Oh, nice. Now,
Mm-hmm.
okay, you know, you made me hungry with the biscuits. Now you made me even hungrier with the lasagna. Damn you, buddy. But either way, enjoy it, and I hope you burn the roof of your mouth. See you in a bit.
Welcome to the Rebellious Noise Pro Wrestling channel. On this channel, we bring you some great content from inside and outside of the squared circle. We will go through and offer some in-depth analysis of the biggest events of the year, as well as bringing you exclusive interviews with some of the industry's biggest names. There will also be live show reviews, in-depth features, and podcasts. So make sure you give that subscribe button a slam so you don't miss any of the action.